Let's rock and roll!
Back for 2026, just great movies, and as promised, one more trek. Tonight, it's time travel shenanigans with the Borg. They might sound Swedish, but they're not. Out to fiddle with the Federation timeline. Is it a good trek? Let's find out. Welcome to Just Great Movies on our first anniversary of the channel. Hello, everybody. Hello, Z3PO. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Resistance is futile.
It is indeed. Congratulations to Franco on being the first one in the chat tonight. Hail to everybody in there. Paul Dickinson. Our Jill's in there too. Admiral Teague. Hello, sir. And many, many more joining. Argentum's in there as well. And thank you, Z, by the way. Happy first birthday to the Trev Retro channel. Been a member for 3 months. Thank you very much for supporting us.
You're very, very welcome. Always a pleasure to be here. Always a pleasure to support the channel.
Thank you. It's much appreciated. Channel memberships are back, by the way, on YouTube and also available at patreon.com/Trev Retro. I hate to rattle the tin, but sometimes it's a little bit necessary because running these channels ain't a cheap hobby. Not at all.
I heard your PC blew up.
Yeah, I'm on the laptop tonight. I borrowed my daughter's laptop, so that's quite interesting. That old PC from 2017 has finally bit the dust. I would like to thank Hewlett Packard, though. You've been fantastic. Absolutely rock solid. Anyway, getting off track slightly, to celebrate tonight, our first anniversary, I thought I'd do one more trek after Trek December. So we're doing Star Trek First Contact, directed by none other than Jonathan Frakes, Commander Riker. Screenplay was by Brannon Braga and Ronald D. Moore, so great Star Trek lineage there, straight off the bat. Story was also by those guys and had a bit of help from Rick Berman as well. Great score from Jerry Goldsmith. Was released near the end of November 1996. I went to see this twice in one night, as I usually do with Treks. Runs of around 111 minutes. The budget was $45 million, and it made $146 million. Grossed worldwide, so that's not too bad. It was the highest grossing film on its opening weekend back in November 1996. Did you go to the flicks to see this one, Z?
I did indeed. It was a most awesome experience. I was a big fan of the Next Generation, had been when they released the first rental VHSs back in '87. So I've been a lifelong fan of TNG, and especially the Borg. Love the Borg.
Sounds Swedish.
Yeah, it sounds Swedish. Dangerous, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
A bit like Sweden at the moment.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying anything to that. Hello to Ex Flavius in the chat as well, and Eraserhead. Also, Manuel Grill. Hello to our Jill. I already said hello to Jill, but she loves this one. So I am thrilled to do First Contact. Great opening scene. We're transported back to 6 years previous to the movie, when Best of Both Worlds, Part 1 and 2, where Picard became Locutus of Borg. He kind of relives that experience right at the beginning of the film. And there's some great shots. He starts off with this close-up of Captain Picard, and it backs out, doesn't it? And you get to see, like, the full interior of a Borg cube, sort of like in its entirety for the first time. That really blew me away.
Absolutely. I mean, it really is an impressive visual, because you don't just see the racks of the Borg up there. You see the interior of the ship as they pull out, and it kind of distracts you from the 3 minutes of opening titles.
Yeah, it is a bit of a drag, isn't it? To be fair, but that score, though, that Jerry Goldsmith's score was fantastic, and I was like, oh wow, I was just loving it. Thank you to Paul Dickinson, £5 super chat. Happy anniversary. Here's to many more. I hope so. I really do. Eraserhead says he loves the lighting here. And I have to admit, it does look really good. That green aesthetic with the Borg even, just fantastic. And then we get like the cinematic version of Locutus and Borg. And they kind of really went upscale with the Borg sort of outfits, didn't they? Because they look like bondage gear in the Next Gen, didn't they? Like some club in Dusseldorf that you've accidentally stumbled into.
Yes, just dress yourself up in leather and bin bags and a couple of tubes. You'll be fine. Stick a laser on the side of your head. Away we go.
Can you remember in the early episodes when we first got introduced to the Borg? Was it in Q Who?
It was Q Who, season 2, episode 16.
Right, and one of them had like a ball gag. Did you notice that?
I did not. But since you've mentioned it, it's fastly becoming my favourite Borg.
Oh yeah, strap on because, or something like that. What do you think the Borg safety word is? Would it be assimilate by any chance, or just as
I don't know. That's assimilate just seems like encouragement. I wouldn't use it as a safe word.
Yeah. Oh, 60 of 9.
6 years, it didn't make sense to me because, I mean, Q Who was in the second season of Next Gen, and Best of Both Worlds, when they appear again, is at the end of season 3. So it only really took them a year and a half to get from where they were to Earth. So I'm a bit of a loss at why it took them 6 years to come back.
Yeah, a bit of a weird one, that. But obviously, they've discovered how to manipulate chronometric particles, which we'll talk about later. But I was really blown away seeing, Patrick Stewart back in the bondage gear with the laser. And it when he shined that into the camera, and it was like, whoa, this is like proper upscale. It's gone full cinematic. And then this.
Absolutely. That's scary as fuck. This really did my head
Language. Language.
When you see the surface of his eyes start to cave in and they clip back out, oh my God.
Yeah.
That was like pure body horror, and I loved it.
Yeah, but you actually get to see his cornea flex against the drill bit. And that seems like a pretty good drill bit, probably available on eBay and other stores. But yeah, I mean, he's got the locutus stuff on. And then they show you another clip where he's like in that head restraint and he's got like a tear running down his eye. But it's all a dream. But it's a dream within a dream.
Dream within a dream, yes.
Is that like a double lucidity type effort, do you think, or?
I don't know. I think it's the fact that the Borg are on their way.
It's very Freudian, I think, this dream.
It's a latent transmission that he's picking up, because obviously you can hear the Borg later on projecting straight into his mind. So I think this is just it's a nightmare he's having of his experience, and I think the oncoming Borg has brought this effect on him. Because it's the only reason why Starfleet would not want him there, because Picard's engaged and defeated the Borg a number of times. To not have the flagship ship there when they finally encroach on Earth, and especially not Picard, who has experience in beating the crap out of them, not there, that didn't make sense.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it just shows you how Picard is still connected to that Borg interlink subspace frequency, which they later thought was Irumodic syndrome. But yeah, he can obviously still hear, she says, doesn't she, later, you can still hear our song. Eraserhead makes a great point here. I honestly think Frakes is a better director than people give him credit for.
No. Have you seen Thunderbirds?
Yeah, but everybody does one that's not really, it's funny you should mention that, because Paul Dickinson says in the chat, Frakes made a complete mess of Thunderbirds. Didn't seem to understand it at all.
I don't think anybody understood it, to be honest with you. It is an absolute cluster F of a film.
Yeah, it is, to be fair. But I like this whole thing, the dream within a dream, and then he wakes up and he's awoken by the sound of an incoming transmission from Starfleet. And I just love this. This is great. You've got some continuity here, because this guy shows up all over Star Trek. He's in Voyager and everywhere. So there's a lot of tie-ins, with the whole Starfleet theme. But I just love this bit, how his console just started like rising up from his desk. There was a report.
Things do when they're at the desk.
Yeah. There's a report in from Deep Space 5, and he's like, yes, I know, the Borg. He's very astute, is Picard. But he's a different Picard in this film, right from the outset. Soon as I think it's that dream what does it, because he's in
I
Borg
think it
fear
is,
mode, isn't he?
because throughout the 7 seasons of the TV series, he's more of an intellectual captain, and he gives everyone a fair shout. Even the crystalline entity that was attacking Farpoint Station, he defended. But when it comes to the Borg, he's like, no nonsense, guns, kill them dead. This is like Kirk with the Klingons. This is his ultimate enemy.
Well, there's only two ways to fight the Borg. It's fight or flight, isn't it? And in this, it's gone from like the flight aspect to full on fight. But this, I love this. We get our first shot of the Enterprise E, Sovereign class Enterprise. That is a ship.
I love that ship. I love the design. It's just a shame they didn't keep it going.
Yeah, designed by John Eaves, who's got a bit of a Trek pedigree now. Great. Honestly, his concept art is something else. Really is top notch. But I just love this. You've got the background there, they're like outside of a nebula. But it's like lit how space really would be. Do you know what I mean? Because in like Next Gen and TV, everything's brightly lit in space. Where's that light coming from? You know, apart from the self-illumination from the ship itself, you know, like across the outside of the hull and whatnot, a spaceship, apart from its running lights, would be virtually in the dark.
It most certainly would. I mean, it's got lights all around it. Even got 2 lights either side of the nacelles, lighting up a tiny part of the nacelles, which didn't need to be lit up at all. So, although it looks fantastic, they obviously had to put the lighting on there so you could see it in its full glory. But the lights themselves are essentially pointless.
ILM did a great job on this. They only had 5 months to complete the work for the visuals, and they completely pulled it off. Did a fantastic job. The CGI is top notch. All the exterior space visuals are just fantastic. Aesthetically, it's a very sublime Trek, and I love it. But I like this bit. We get reintroduced to all the major crew members. Obviously, Frakes walks into the ready room, and we get a nice reflection of him. You know, when he walks in. I don't know where that slide went. I must have accidentally dropped that one. But did you notice how Geordie's like, look at my new eyes? Did anybody see my new eyes? Look at these eyes. Aren't they great?
They are pretty cool. I mean, they're certainly an upgrade from the visor. I mean, we got to see the visor in season 1, I think it was.
That's right. It was in Generations, wasn't it? Because Toli and Soren manipulated it to transmit a signal to Lursa and Bator, which is great. Data's quite prominent here. Here we go. This is the slide I was talking about. Starfleet.
Is it normal for your first officer to creep up on you in your ready room?
Yeah, but he's allowed to. You know, they've got history. But Starfleet have ordered the Enterprise to the Federation neutral zone with the Romulan border because, you know, Starfleet says, you never know, the Borg, we're a bit busy with them. The Romulans might take advantage of this situation, but they haven't heard anything from the Romulans for a long time. So it's just a bit of a diversionary tactic. Riker's not buying it one bit, is he?
No, I mean, Geordie specifically says the Enterprise E is the most advanced starship in the fleet. Why would you mothball the most important ship in your fleet at its most critical moment?
I'm a bit surprised, really. It's a sovereign class, and normally a first ship in a new design, that bears the name of the class. So where's the USS Sovereign? Surely that should be... Actually, no. Normally, the NX version is usually the least advanced ship in the fleet. Because it's got all the bugs and then they iron them out. Just look at all the trouble they had with the Excelsior.
Oh, yes, but it more than made up for it in Star Trek 6.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Oh, you got to admit, though, Excelsior really did pull it, didn't it?
Fire up, Ben.
Yeah. Oh, I love them warp effects too. That's the one thing I didn't like about the Next Gen to start with. When the ships went to warp speed, you get the stretching of the nacelles, and then you get like that flash of light when it enters warp speed.
I
And
don't like the flash of light. I don't mind the extended warp cells. It looks like it's approaching a warp tunnel and entering the warp wormhole. But
I think it's kind of like a hybrid of when they did the motion picture, because it had that effect, didn't it?
it did,
Apart
yeah.
from the stretching, but it kind of like went into, like you say, a warp tunnel, and then you get the flash once it's actually broken the warp barrier. And I really did like that.
I didn't like the flash.
But the rest of the TOS movies, I thought the warp effects in that were just amazing.
Mm.
You know, like that trail of light.
Yeah, especially when it stalled in warp in the motion picture. That was quite glorious.
You're on about the engine imbalance when it went into the wormhole.
Great.
Yeah, there was a problem with the flow regulators, weren't there? So one nacelle was more active than the other one, and it created an imbalance. That's why it generated the I can't get my words out. The wormhole. There we go. So anyway, the Federation fleet starts engaging the Borg, and it's quite interesting. How far is the Romulan neutral zone from Earth? It's got to be a fair way.
About 3.5 minutes away, I would have said.
Yeah, in this film, but I would have said like 3 days away, you know?
Well, Earth to neutral zone, definitely. 3 days to a week, I would have said.
Yeah, but they get there within barely minutes.
Because they established in Next Gen that they weren't allowed to breach a specific speed of warp. Because it created damage.
That's right. Yeah, it was damaging the fabric of subspace, making warp drive essentially useless.
But
so anyway,
now they seem to be able to get there just like that.
I know. It's almost like it was scripted. So anyway, Picard's like, gung-ho, I'm about to defy our orders. And then you get this cute bit, oh, I speak for the rest of the crew. To hell with our orders. And everybody gives like a bit of a cheeky chuckle. Data's quite good in this, to be fair.
He is.
But we get the old Picard, he's like, yeah, come on, we're going to kick some Borg ass. And it's like, engage. And then we get to see the Enterprise E go to warp speed. And I just love the beauty shot. That is just pure Trek gold to me. And
everything about this movie is just eye candy when it comes to the ships.
It is. I mean,
even,
I suppose...
even the Phoenix, when the Phoenix goes to warp.
Yeah, I love that. I loved it when it did that. So anyway, there we go. There's our... I call it like the Q effect, isn't it? It's almost like, you know, when Q clicks his fingers.
It is very much like that, which is why I don't like it, because it's
apparently that marks the transition from normal space into warp drive, where the ship isn't actually moving. The nacelles generate enough force to bend space, and that's how it works, apparently. But I love this Borg cube. This is the most detailed Borg cube ever.
It is. It's absolutely beautiful. Every single side of it just menaces evil.
Isn't it? And yet, they tried to go one up, didn't they, when in Picard Season 1? And they just did not pull it off at all, I thought. Yeah. So what's this? Manuel Grill says they were patrolling the neutral zone from a very, very, very safe distance with very, very, very long-range sensors. Yeah, that's how they got back so quick. They were only around the corner, really.
And another thing that irritates me about this is how Picard's able to take control of the fleet, and everybody seems to be okay with it when Starfleet specifically did not want him there. So I don't know how he can just announce I'm taking over, and everybody goes, "Oh, well, he's quite acceptable then."
Yeah. Gavin in the chat says thousands of model kits died for that Borg cube prop.
It was a noble cause.
It was. There we go. Greeblies. I love that. That is just fantastic.
Every surface.
But we get a bit of fan service now for the Deep Space Nine fans. We've got the Defiant, very heavily battle damaged. And there's Worf when Worf sticks his head up, the whole cinema like went,
Worf,
yeah!
Worf, and going, yeah, the Defiant getting its ass kicked when Cisco said that the Defiant was specifically designed for one purpose only, to fight and defeat the Borg, and yet somehow it gets its ass kicked.
Yeah. But I love this. The actual detail compared, we saw this in 4-3 on TV in Deep Space Nine.
Yes.
And then this is its first appearance in a cinematic environment, and the level of detail on that sucker. Just look at that.
You know, they really could have done with one additional crew member from DS9 being on board. I would have put Kira on here and had her in the movie as well. Yeah. Kira or Dax.
Yeah, but if it had been original Dax, yeah, but not new Dax. No offense to Nicole de Boer. I think she's a great actress and all, but for me, it was Terry Farrell. Apart from that dodgy Hellraiser movie she was in. Was it 3?
I don't know which one she was in, but Nicole de Boer, she was in Pitch Black, wasn't she?
Was she? I can't remember that. I tell you who was in Pitch Black.
Or was it Cube?
And I'll tell you who was in Pitch Black, I think. And that was Claudia Black.
Cube.
If you remember, she was in that, wasn't she? Or was it the first Riddick film? Or was Pitch Black the first Riddick film? I can't remember.
Pitch Black was the first Riddick film.
Yeah, there is a rumor.
Was in Cube.
Cube. That's it's Canadian, isn't it? Because David Hewlett's in that, isn't he? Who played Roddy McKay in Stargate Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting fact, and I looked and looked and looked and couldn't find it. When the Borg cube gets obliterated, I mean, look at the quality of that. That's just, honestly, it's breathtaking.
It is.
The level of detail. But anyway, Picard's like, I want everybody to fire on this location. And Data's like, no, well, that's not really important. And he's like, trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I'm from Yorkshire. But just the whole effects, the phasers and quantum torpedo effects are just brilliant.
Over and above the TV series.
Definitely.
I mean, as I said, eye candy, this film had it.
And it dwarfed generations by miles as well. And
when you're watching it on the big screen, your jaw is open at how brilliant all of this is. It just looks amazing.
Do you know what really, really blew me away when I saw this at the cinema? The sound balance between the music and the effects and the phasers and quantum torpedoes, it was all over the place, left, right, in the middle, behind you. It moved around. I don't know who was responsible for doing the mix down on that, but they did a fantastic job. But like this, look at that. What's that? That's like not a Nebula class. Oh, crikey. I can't remember what class of ship that is. It will come to me. I'd like to think it's some kind of, like, I don't know, secondary redesign of a Miranda class, but
it does look very much like a Miranda class ship, but it doesn't have the same nacelles.
It almost looks like, looking at it from the front, it kind of reminds me. Have you ever seen the refit NX-01?
Yes.
It kind of looks like that, doesn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I don't like its bottom either. It's just bloated and out of shape. So
yeah, definitely. Let me just catch up with the chat. Let's see. Oh, just going back on to Deep Space Nine. Argentum says in the chat to Eraserhead, I'm still mad they killed off Jadzia. She was my favourite character in DS9. Yes, me too. Manuel says Jadzia to Esri. I mean, no disrespect to Nicole de Boer, but Terry Farrell, she was Dax. What's this? RG here being gone really makes the last season weaker, in my opinion, because they have to attempt to build a new character while everything else is coming to its conclusion. Yeah, it did kind of let the last season down. Oh, that's right. Akira class or Saber class. I definitely think it is an Akira class. I think you were right the first time. Oh, Manuel Grill for the win says Akira class, USS Thunderchild.
And it didn't do the Akira slide. Bloody hell.
Yeah. Paul Dickinson says at Ref, I saw it opening night in London, West End, Leicester Square. However, I wasn't 11. The room was bouncing and cheering. It was such a good vibe. And when you get to this bit here, even though this wasn't an important system, it obviously had a great knock-on effect. But, I mean, just look at that. The level of quality there from ILM. That's breathtaking.
I mean,
Paramount,
if you go back to the Q Who episode when you first see them attack the Borg ship and it starts regenerating, there's some really dodgy effects there as they melt things.
Yeah. I mean, it was 1989, for God's sake.
But here, it's really detailed. There's levels to it. And I can understand why they're firing in that area, because it is absolutely a non-essential system. It's not something that they would have been protecting. So it's the perfect place to hit them. Yeah.
Sometimes you can be that clever, you can be stupid. And I think the Borg were a little bit complacent. But I love this. When the Borg sphere comes out and leaves everything behind, it ejects. Rumour has it, and I stopped it, and I kept going back. Apparently in the background, somebody at ILM, a joker, thought it would be a great idea to put the Millennium Falcon flying away in the background, but I could not see it anywhere. I don't know if that's true. Anybody else in the chat know that rumour? But I did. I kept looking and I kept looking and I couldn't find it. There we go. That's a better look at the USS War Child. Was it? No, Thunder Child. That was it.
Thundercats.
Ho! Somebody say ho. Chitara. Is she a ho?
She certainly is.
Do you know,
in the first episode, she's flipping naked, for God's sake.
I would love to see what they could do with a modern day adaptation of a live action version of the Thundercats. Who would play Chitara? Who would have the guts and gusto to play that on the big screen?
Who could do the voice?
Oh, what's this? Teague says, the Millennium Falcon rumor is in the special edition commentary, but I can't see it. I can't. I paused it and I zoomed in, paused in, just could not find it. And apparently people have said, look, there it is, and it's right in the top left as the Borg cube explodes, but I could never find it. So anyway, set a pursuit, Mr. Hawk, set a pursuit course, and I just love it because Picard's got this kind of like urgency. It's almost like, because he's still tapped in to the Borg frequency. You know, he's got to have it. This is the whole thing. It's like the Herman Melville aspect of this film. He is Ahab, and the Borg are his white whale. But that's the kind of like play, what lets it down. They make that whole revenge aspect so apparent. But you wouldn't expect Picard to lower himself to petty revenge.
No.
But that's what he does all the way through this film. And then we get the fan service again, and Beverly's like, oh, somebody wanted to come up to the bridge, sir. And it's Mr. Worf.
Give Crusher something to do, because she does bugger all in this movie. She's like there because she's a crew member, but she's given almost no lines.
I think she looks quite fit in this film.
She does look quite fit.
You can tell why Picard ended up knocking her up. What happens on Risa stays on Risa. And I love this bit. You still remember how to fire phasers, and Worf's just about to lose his shit with Riker. And Riker's like, oh, put my hand up, and he like backs down. But
I quite like the line where he goes, impressive little ship.
Little? Yeah. That is a great line. There's a good interplay. There's that like camaraderie and banter, you know. These people have worked together since 1986, and it shows. And I love it. They all know each other's boundaries so well. So anyway, chronometric particles are emanating. Time travel.
Not just any chronometric particles, but 1.21 gigawatts of chronometric particles. I'm surprised they didn't end up in bloody 1955, which arguably would have been much better for the Borg, because there would be zero chance of any resistance or messing things up.
You're not getting it. You're not getting this. Timeline's not malleable. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. Moving swiftly on. Anyway, good news for the Enterprise. They get caught in a temporal wake. and they're protected from changes in the timeline because at present, as they're traveling back, they're going through like an alternate timeline. If you look at the United States there, it's completely Borgicized or Borgerized.
Borgified.
Yeah, Borgified. That's it. Why didn't I think of that? But the whole like continental USA is just completely Borgified, and you can see all those lines. There's no oceans or anything, and it's just complete. I don't understand that. If the Borg had changed the Earth's atmosphere to make it like a Borg cube, right, and they've got rid of the oceans, how? Well, anyway, they have to go back in time to repair any damages. But this is weird because it's like a self-prophesized timeline, isn't it? Because for Starfleet to actually exist, a ship from Starfleet from the 24th century had to travel back to the late 21st century.
Late 21st, yeah.
Yeah, it's 20. Is it 2063?
Well, no, it's mid 21st century because they asked for mid 21st century clothing.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, this is Bozeman, Montana, where there's a little shanty town built around a former missile complex, which is great. And then we're introduced to Zephram Cochrane and Lily, played by Farmer Hoggett.
Like the Zephram Cochrane from the original series.
Yeah, where's that red flight suit?
Mm.
And this is quite interesting. Jamie Cromwell, he's been a really notable character actor all the way through like the 70s and 80s and 90s. Well, this is like, apart from Farmer Hoggett, this has been one of his bigger roles on screen.
Yes.
And I liked how he carried this character as well in Enterprise as well. He's in the first episode, isn't he?
Yes.
When they opened the Warp 5 complex. And they also used a shot of him in the Mirror Universe Enterprise timeline. Because when the Vulcans came to Earth, he shot them with a shotgun, didn't he? Do you remember that one?
As you should. Invaders and all. Illegal aliens.
That Invaders, that's a different show.
The Invaders.
A Quim Martin production. Was it Quim Martin or Quinn Martin?
Quinn Martin.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Starring David Vincent as an architect. Anyway, you get these green balls of fire coming down from the sky. And it just like, she goes, what's that? That's the constellation Leo. Because Zephram Cochrane likes a drink. Boof, it's green flames everywhere. And this whole shantytown starts going up. And she says, oh, we have to go to the Phoenix. And he goes, to hell with the Phoenix. Meanwhile, in orbit, the Borg, it's funny this, because the perspective to me looks wrong. It's almost like they were firing from east towards west. Now these are west towards east. Do you know what I mean?
I suppose it depends on where you're standing.
Yeah, it's your whole perspective, isn't it? Hang on a minute. This is quite interesting. Here we go. Paul says, have you been Borgified? Dry or lube? Thank you for that. Manuel Grill says, would have been funny if they'd have travelled back to 1986 and ran into Kirk and Spock. Much better than Generations anyway. I love that.
They might have been able to give him a hand travelling back.
Yeah. Franco says, yeah, he shot the Vulcans. Yeah, I remember that. That's it. Cromwell's great in this. Really good imposter syndrome acting. Yeah. Here we go. The line I couldn't quite get out. Thank you, Gav. He says, Roy Finnis as architect, David Vincent. God, I love that show. I really love The Invaders. They tried bringing it back with Scott Bakula, didn't they? And it failed.
Mm.
So anyway, these guys, the Federation, turn up and promptly fire some quantum torpedoes, because photon torpedoes are no good anymore now. You've got to have the quantum variety. But just look at the lines on that ship. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
But of course,
say.
A Federation ship can't have its shields up when it's firing torpedoes. So something
Yeah, it's
else.
funny that. Well, as a side effect of traveling through the chronometric particles, the shields couldn't be raised. It to depolarize the emitters, apparently.
Ooh.
So not just 3, they fired 4 quantum torpedoes, which take out the Borg cube. And I just love that. Everything Borg, no matter what it is, it's always got like that greeny hue to it. I like that. And I like that music as well, that dun, 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 dun. Almost like Bionic Man. You know, the Borg have got their own cue, haven't they? Their own sonic logo within the Jerry Goldsmith score, which Terry Matalas completely used for fan service in Picard Season 3. Do you know something? I admit this freely to everybody now. I feel really, really stupid for enjoying Picard Season 3.
Why?
Because Terry Matalas dangled those member berries. You know, they were all low-hanging fruit in the grand scheme of things. On the re-rub of the entire series, Season 3, actually. But I just feel a little bit stupid. It's almost like I got pulled in and suckered in. So anyway, they arrange to go down and do like a repair thing. And it's mid-21st century clothing. You were quite right there, Z.
Yeah, and no sizes or how many they need. So I just imagine this huge pile of clothes and shoes and all different sizes waiting for them in the transporter room.
Yeah, so it would have replicated. I mean, obviously it knows the computer just scans the crew all the time. Internal sensors. So it would have made clothes to fit fantastic. Kind of like having your own clothes department. But I like this. We actually get a decent beaming effect this time. And they beam down and they start looking for Dr. Cochrane. But when they enter the missile complex, Lily's there waiting with a submachine gun. Starts firing at Picard. Hold your fire! Sorry. You'll have to pull me up on doing the bad impressions. I just can't help myself. Get a bit carried away, you see.
I mean,
So
they've
anyway,
got all this mid-21st century clothing, which obviously they're trying to blend in, but they brought Data with them.
yeah.
It was a yellow gold with gold eyes.
Yeah. How they
That's
gonna...
not very inconspicuous, is it?
He's from Alaska.
He fell in a mechanical rice picker.
Yeah. But I like that because this missile complex actually looks really convincing.
It actually
Maybe
does
it
look
was.
like a missile complex, and you see the full length of the Phoenix as when Data jumps down the shaft.
Yeah, he says, perhaps I can be of assistance. Yeah, he just jumps down the length of the shaft.
Ooh, Mrs. That's what she said. and then Lily starts shooting him.
Yeah.
Data
And
isn't bulletproof, and he never has been.
When he jumps down, greetings. She shoots him. Greetings. And just walks up to him. But I love the level of detail on the base of that missile. And then Lily, she looks a bit worse for wear. And she just happens to collapse in Data's arms. Captain, this lady needs medical assistance. So it turns out she's got a big dose of theta radiation. Apparently it's leaking from the throttle assembly. As you do. I don't even know what theta radiation is, but it sounds quite impressive. So but Dr. Crusher's got an inoculation for that. And she just inoculates everybody.
But
as you do.
Do they actually sort the leak out, or just inoculate people so it doesn't affect them?
I don't know. I think Geordie knows what he's doing. Yeah. So anyway, Bev beams back up. And this was a great shot. Have you noticed when every character delivers the dialogue, the other character goes out of focus?
Mm.
So it's just like adding emphasis on what the character's saying at that time. But I just love the level of detail in this stuff. But this is Alpha Team in engineering. And if you notice that guy there on the left, the character known as Paul in this, do you recognize him from another TV franchise, sci-fi?
He does look vaguely familiar.
He's been in quite a few things. He later went on to be the head of the Aleutian Alliance in Stargate SG-1. Don't know if you remember that.
I rewatched it at the start of lockdown, but no, his face is not very familiar.
Yeah, he's not in it till later seasons. We're talking like season 8, 9, and 10. But yeah, he was in. No, actually, I think it was season 9. I could be wrong on that. It's the one with Ben Browder. I think was the first time he was in it. I'm just trying to figure out who he is. It will come to me. Eric Steinberg, Paul Porter. That's who he was. Yeah, and apparently the Defiant Con officer during the battle was Adam Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know people like making a point of that, so I just thought I'd mention it quickly. So anyway, Alpha Team's assembled. I love the new engineering, but the one thing that kind of puzzles me, right? How do they get to that dilithium matrix chamber?
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
I don't know. Why have the center of the warp core 2 levels above everybody? That seems a bit silly, really. Franco says a step ladder. I think you need a pretty big ladder for that, to be fair. Maybe they've got a cherry picker.
Cherry picker, they're going to need to, get to the dilithium.
Yeah. So anyway, this is quite a good bit. You know, Picard's on about... you've seen this in the Smithsonian hundreds of times or whatever.
Hundreds of times. How many times have you been to the Natural History Museum, Trev?
About 3 times now.
I've been there 5 times. He's a bit obsessed if he's been there hundreds of times.
Yeah, he does say hundreds of times, doesn't he?
It does seem a bit excessive to me.
And he's just said, it's just a bit of a boyhood fantasy. He's always wanted to have
the ship. I've been
he's
there.
Really wanted to stroke a long shaft. A shaft as big as that. And Data saying he's like rubbing it and goes, I'm detecting imperfections in the titanium casing. There's a such and such rattling about. There's 3 Phillips screws loose. You know, all that kind of thing. How does he know? How does he know? And then Troy comes in, do you want me to leave you 3 alone? I just thought it was so good. And the look on her face, I don't find her biffy at the best of times, but she is actually quite biffy in this film.
She's quite tasty, yeah.
Yeah. And if anybody knows what biffy means, it's like, yeah, I'd do things like mummy and daddy cuddles. Yeah, she's worthy of that. And I like this when she calls him out. Have you found Dr. Cochrane? No, but everybody else is dead. He's got to be around somewhere. There was nothing more important than this. This was his dream.
The dream, he just went, screw the Phoenix and ran off.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Ensign Porter is looking around in the Jeffrey tubes trying to find out why the environmental controls on engineering on Deck 16 have gone completely haywire. And I just love this. Like, this grid lifts up and you see a Borg arm. And then, oh my God, you know what that is, don't you?
No.
It's Spuggy from Biker Grove, all grown up.
Biker Grove. And she climbs up the ladder towards the Jeffries tube and then starts shouting for Paul.
Yeah.
You got a comm badge, mate.
Yeah. Well, yeah, what happened? Hello? What happened to that? Oh, you got to love it when they have these simple inconsistencies. Why didn't she just, comm badge it? But, yeah, she falls victim to the Borg. She's assimilated into the collective. And then Picard's like, and Troy's like, what's wrong? And he's like, you better beam me up back to the ship. But yeah, again, Marina Sirtis looks really, yeah. And I'm not sure about Riker's jacket. He looks like an off-duty fireman.
She's the hottest she's looked here since that episode when her and Crusher were doing calisthenics.
Oh, I don't know. I think like the late 80s spandex kind of let them down. I deducted points for that.
What, the spandex?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. Crusher had quite the camel toe going on there.
Yeah. It was like the Bajoran wormhole. Well, anyway, Bev's up in back on the Enterprise, taking care of Lily. And yet again, it's like Beverly's surplus to requirement. She kind of comes across like that, like she's just tacked on in places. Well, yet again, she's for a ginge looking quite biffy.
Not bad at all.
I don't know what happened to her later on and whether she'd had some dodgy plastic surgery, but we're talking, I don't know, something had gone wrong. Well, anyway, it's funny, doors don't open for the Borg. These doors have got sensors so they open up, but no, these Borg have just got to start banging stuff. And then Worf, apprises Picard that there's a bit of a problem on Deck 16. And it's almost like Deck 16's been terraformed in a very specific way. And then all the computers start getting hacked, but Data gives that 401941061474444781 Tango lock. Do you remember that episode?
Yes.
That was a great one where Data took over the Enterprise because he'd been recalled by Noonien Sung.
Yeah, it's a lot better password than Picard's, which was 47 Alpha Tango, which is 2 numbers and then 2 letter codes that resemble those numbers. It's quite the worst password in the world.
Yeah, Franco says Data Law. Yeah, I think it was that episode.
It was Data Law, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Brothers. No, that was the one where they were manipulating the Borg, wasn't it? Oh, no, that was season 1. Brothers.
Brothers
Brothers.
Was season 4, wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is it the one where they're manipulating the Borg? Or is it the one where they find Law?
Yeah, Brothers is season 4, episode 3.
Yeah. Looks like she's been on the Ozempic. Everybody's on that at the moment. I had a bit of a dabble with Monjaro myself once. Yeah. So anyway, Data locks out the system, which is quite good. Have you ever seen, what's it called? Pogo. There's a guy on YouTube called Pogo. And
Yes.
he does that Data and Picard thing, doesn't he?
I thoroughly recommend the track Upula by Pogo. It's one of my favourites.
Yeah. Do you know what this scene reminded me of? This was almost like a rehash of the scene where Geordie wakes up in sick bay in Generations. And Lursa and Bato are like, human females are repugnant.
But at my age, seeing this sort of picture here has given me strange underpants feelings.
Yeah, me too. I've certainly developed a bit of a stiffness.
A crusher, if you will.
Beverly, I want to crush her. Dr. Crusher. Come here, Beverly. Name me a town in East Yorkshire, Beverly. It's all right, I'm just going on one. Anyway, this is where we get to meet a familiar face, yet another tie-in with Voyager, because Beverly activates the EMH. Robert Picardo, who's coming back into Star Trek next week, in fact, with the release of Star Trek Academy. Something I'm not going to watch.
A medical emergency.
Please state the name. I always think of Johnny Cab. That's all he sounds like when he starts. Because he is Johnny Cab, visually and the voice of.
And the cowboy from Inner Space.
Outlaw Josie Vales. What a flick. Remember when we did that on, was it Monday Night Mayhem or Just Great Movies?
Yeah, it was a great film.
Yeah. Well, you were on that panel, weren't you?
I was indeed, yes.
In fact, you were on the very first show we did on the channel.
What?
Yeah. It was me, you, Brian, Gamer, and Graham, and Swappers.
Wow.
That was the panel.
Months ago.
I know. Crazy, isn't it? I'm a doctor, not a doorstop. And she's like, well, do a dance. And then he backs up into the corner. He's like, according to Starfleet Medical, Borg implants cause severe skin irritation. Maybe I can offer you an analgesic. But the personality, Louis Zimmerman, who programmed these EMHs on Jupiter Station, these just are a reflection of his attitude because he doesn't know how to interact with people. He's spent that much time in labs. He just can't connect with people. And it reflects. But do you remember the EMH Mark II? That was played by Andy Dick, of all people.
Oh, he was such a weeb.
Andy Dick. It's funny, Andy Dick appeared alongside Brent Spiner in Dude, Where's My Car? Bit of a Trek tie-in there. Anyway.
I do like the little touches here, as you can see that the consoles in the back already look like they've been Borgified.
They do, don't they?
They'll give the impression that they've already taken that deck.
I reckon... No. Do you want to hear a bit of a conspiracy theory?
Go for it.
I think that the Federation have secretly woven in ideas and tech from the Borg in the latest generation of starships. That's why they've got that sort of... Like, these are more of a yellowy hue than the green. So I think this might be technology garnered from incursions with the Borg. The Federation are actually like using the Borg's technology against them by intermixing it within the designs of the starships. Just a theory. Well, anyway,
that's a pretty sound theory.
Yeah. When they escape in the Jeffries tubes from sickbay, Lily gets separated, and she kind of thinks, "I'm going to chuff off and do my own thing." Meanwhile, in the armory, Picard's got a great idea. If they get into engineering and shoot the coolant tanks either side of the warp core, the plasma coolant liquefies human flesh on contact. I think that's like foreshadowing, isn't it? We know what to expect.
Yes. So if anybody were to knock against it or accidentally throw something at it, they've got no safeguards in place on these things. They just blow up.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's just catch up with the chat a little bit. UK video clip says First Contact was a true film. It was indeed. Argentum. Hello, love. Hope you're well. Borg tech fusion sounds very plausible. Yeah. And I kind of thought this.
They've got an armory now rather than keeping all the weapons in places like the galley.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go and kill some mashed potatoes. Anybody got any smash? Manuel Grill says Voyager's bio-neural circuitry. Yes, very much so. And I think they're all kind of like plays and they've expanded on stuff. They've like got, right, we've got this idea now, but we'll sort of like combine it with this newer technology, because what better way to take on an enemy by taking on its technology in part? Know your enemy and all that malarkey. But Picard's like, he's getting everybody ready. Look, this is what to expect. There's a lot of foreshadowing in this scene. So anyway, meanwhile, I've just I've put us in a bad position here. Let me just move us around a little bit. There we go. While we're in Zephram Cochrane's way, but in the bar, Zephram Cochrane is a bit Newton List. He's 3 sheets to the wind. And he's trying his best to chat up Councillor Troy. And Riker's just like, he's just blown away. He's Zephram Cochrane in the 24th century. He's almost become like a mythical character. He's responsible for the level of technology and where humanity's got to through its travels through space. But like Riker's just like, whoa, I can't believe it. But anyway, Riker just starts ribbing Troy. It's like, you're pissed.
It's blended.
Yeah. No, I'm not. And she can't even sit down right. And I love this bit because there's a guy at that table behind Zephram Cochrane. But all Zephram Cochrane wants to do is get Shakin' Stevens back on the jukebox. Because it seems like mid to late 21st century, Shakin' Stevens has made a comeback. And so anyway, he's dancing around, completely wasted. Troy's just like, doof, she passes out. And Riker's like, oh my God, what have I got myself into here?
I love it when his head turns and she's like smacked on the table.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh, it's just great. And then we get this really good beauty shot of the Enterprise in orbit. But things are a bit bad on Deck 16 because the Borg do what the Borg do best, and that's assimilate things. And Data's like, oh, I'm experiencing a weird sensation. He's cacking himself for the first time. And he goes, it's an interesting sensation. And Picard's like, I sympathize with you, Data, but why don't you turn your emotion chip off? And he's like, great idea, sir. And he like flicks his neck and it goes, makes that little noise, doesn't it?
Sometimes, Mr. Data, I envy you.
Yeah.
Now, I don't understand this either, because Picard earlier says in the armory you may encounter crew members who have been assimilated and to shoot them on sight. But as we know, assimilated crew members can be brought back. Picard was, Hugh was, 7 of 9 was, as well as the kids who were Borgified in that, was it a Voyager episode?
Yeah, maturation chambers, because all children captured and assimilated by the Borg are put into maturation chambers, so they can be a fully developed adult within 3 months.
Just offing them one by one just seems a little bit extreme for somebody who knows that they can be brought back. He really hates the Borg.
He says, trust me, you'll be doing them a favour. Well, hang on a minute, nobody shot you. But if you remember, right, before, in the early days of the Borg, you were captured and assimilated, and they had to, like, drill into your brain to turn you blue and, like, all mottled skin. But we didn't have the nanotechnology, like the nanoprobes. You know? Yeah, well, like 7 of 9 with the tubules and all that.
The tubules that come out of the hand and assimilate people. That's... I'm not sure
it's a later thing, isn't it?
Or not.
Well, they kind of tack that onto this. It's like, well, this is how it happens now. You get attacked by the tubules. You're injected with nanoprobes, and then you're Borgified. But we get this bit here where everybody like suddenly turns around because everybody's nervous. Everybody's clenching. It's butthole tight aplenty. And since when has been sickbay been on the same deck as engineering? Seems a little bit silly, really, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, it is a bit silly throughout where things are, because they couldn't get to the shuttle bay, but the shuttle bay somewhere on deck 6, I think it is. And in this, Picard says to Lily that the ship's got 24 decks, whereas earlier crewman Daniel said they've assimilated decks 26 through 11.
Yeah,
but even Picard doesn't know how many decks there are on the Enterprise. No wonder he's lost.
Well, it's like that. They were in the bowels of the ship in Nemesis, where Riker takes on the Viceroy, and he kicks him, and he's like dropping down forever. Which I thought is that almost like a nod to Galaxy Quest, because it was kind of unrealistically cheesy. Yeah, but you know, the sick bay is in the saucer section. It always has been, and engineering is in the secondary hull. So how she's not very good, is she? Wrong lane, Bev. Wrong lane. Should have turned right at Albuquerque. So anyway, they're about to take on the Borg
like Troy drives the Enterprise.
Yeah. At least she didn't crash it in Nemesis. Oh, yes, she did. That's right, she did, didn't she?
And Generations.
Yeah. Don't let her drive. So yeah, deck 16, engineering. So they go and try and open the door, and it's kind of booby-trapped. Borg booby-trapped. And they pull the handle, and it's bad news because all the Borg engage. They see everybody on that deck as a threat now. And it's just all gung-ho. And of course, Mr. Worf being Mr. Worf, yeah, he uses his phaser cannon as a bat'leth, doesn't he? He just starts beating the heck out of all these Borg. But there's more than just one. That
makes sense from a Klingon perspective, because as soon as you fire the first shot, they start adapting. So taking them down manually did make sense.
Ref says, do the Borg change the frequency of their adapted shields, or do they add another layer on top of it? I feel like a frequency dial on those rifles would have done the trick. Well, they had rotating modulations, but he did say you'd only get like 4 or 5 shots off before they adapt, because it doesn't matter what frequency you use. Once you've shot 2 of them, the rest of them automatic, because it's all linked, aren't they?
Yeah,
It's
they've got
all
the
like,
hive mind.
yeah. So once one's adapted, they've all adapted. But yeah, they take out as many as they can, but the adaptive shielding comes into play. Meanwhile, Picard's trying to hotwire this door. No, just keep moving all the isolinear chips around. It's weird, isn't it? They've got all this new technology, but they're still using isolinear chips, but these ones are severely bigger than the ones in Next Gen.
Yeah, but it is a nice callback to Next Gen, because we know the ship's computer systems do carry isolinear chips, even if they're using the bio ones from Voyager. They're still got to rely on old technology until it gets upgraded.
It's almost like a callback to the first season episode Naked now, isn't it?
Mm. When
where the
back in.
engineering, because that drunk engineer, doesn't he? He pulls all the isolinear chips out, and then Data puts them all back once he's had his way with Natasha Yar. It was that episode.
And I'm programmed in multiple techniques.
And yet, there's a callback to that a little bit later on, but shh. So anyway, Picard's trying to hotwire this door, but I like that bit where it goes. They don't move that fast, but they all like make those noises. So he tries to get Picard. Data comes in and breaks this Borg drone's neck. And then Data gets grabbed by the legs and dragged through the door. Now, the problem here for me is the door opened up and then all of a sudden it lifts up when they drag Data through.
Mm.
Did you notice that inconsistency?
I did, yes.
Yeah, the doors opened as they normally do, and then it lifts up. It's like, make your mind up. It's an IKEA door from IKEA 7. Data, don't let them touch you. But here we go with the old tubules. But look at the look on that character actor playing that Borg. These Borg are like, they're fantastic. They nailed it.
Mm.
Absolutely in this film. So good. But yeah, here we go. Injected with nanoprobes, and you start getting Borgified. Captain, help me! And it does it's not very honourable, is it?
Just kill you instead.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll just shoot you. There you go. Pew, pew. And I like this. As soon as he closes up that Jeffries tube, this Borg's here with this little Dremel attachment. That's basically what it is, isn't it?
It is. I mean, all different Borg have different functions. They've all got different attachments. One's got a circular saw like that one. Another one's got an angle grinder. One's got a hammer, screwdriver. One's got a tin opener. They're like Swiss Army Borg. They've got exactly the appendage needed at the exact moment in time. God.
Have they got one with a bottle opener?
Yes.
He's great at barbecues.
Why did he just open the door? Screwdriver. Do we need Phillips or Flathead?
Why didn't they just open the Jeffries tube? Like everybody else did.
Well,
everybody in the chat
tube is going to be slow.
Hi to Atom Gray in the chat, says Swiss Army Borg at the same time as Franco. I love that. Lots of people in the chat saying about Beverly looking so good. And I like this bit here because Picard's kind of like erring on the side of caution. He's not quite sure where he's going. Lily grabs hold of him. Picard drops his phaser and you hear it get set to maximum, don't you? When it drops on the floor, she picks it up and just accidentally puts it on full blast. There's a great line she comes out with soon. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But I've noticed they've got like this proper Michael Okuda aesthetic still going on with the L cars. I really love that. That is one good thing. That is like one good callback. This is a brand new ship, and yet you've got all that relatable, familiar technology from the originals, from the Next Gen series, from the Enterprise D.
Because at this part here, the Harry Enfield television show was quite popular at the time, and when Picard's going, "Calm down," the cinema went, "Calm down."
All the Scousers. Hey, calm down, calm down. Hey, come here, One of them was a McCann, wasn't it? Crikey, was it Joe McCann? one of the Scousers with Harry Enfield.
Oh, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, the big one with the massive bum chin.
Hey, you are.
Hey, calm down, eh? Oh, Atom Gray, speaking my language here. Screwfix Borg. There we go. Paul Dickinson says, welcome to Borg DIY SOS. Oh, God. As long as they assimilate Nick Knowles, because he is so annoying. Anyway. Yeah. She grabs hold of this phaser. In the meantime, there's a voice talking to Data. And just so good quality here. And because Data's not a Borg, when he's sort of like hooked up to Borg technology, he's got like that gold color instead of the green. Did you notice that?
Mm.
Lots of people picked up on that in the cinema and well, going, it's not green, it's data colored. All right, okay. But anyway, trying to get access to the Enterprise computer. Access denied. And I love that. All the LCARs has gone red. That is so cool. And I love how they just start drilling into Data, just willy-nilly. And yeah, later, there's no screw holes in him or anything. There's no pilot holes.
Well, a little bit silly putty in there. That'll cover it up, no worries.
Yeah, it's all right. A bit of filler. Stick a bit of blue tack in with a bit of Tipex on it. It'll be fine. Manuel Grill's just come out with a good one in the chat. We're not quite got there yet, Manuel. But that is a good comment. I'll stick that. Oh, dear. Has Data got jaundice? No, he's not, Paul. It's just makeup. Manuel says Borg Queen is a step down from Tasha Yar. I suppose it is, really. And I love this bit here. It's like, let me get this straight. You're all from the future, and you're here to save everybody from cybernetic creatures. It's like, don't believe us. Look through your telescope. And he says, I love a good peep show. Yeah, again, showing the flaws in the mythical character that is Zephram Cochrane. You know, they built up this image and idea of him and how he just strove to better mankind when all he was interested in was dollar signs and naked chicks. As you do. Somebody looks up through his telescope and he sees the Enterprise in orbit. And he's like, hang on a minute, you did this. How did you do that? Meanwhile, everybody's getting assimilated. Yeah, it's your telescope. And I like these costumes obviously had pyrotechnics built into them.
Mm.
I mean, that must have been quite dangerous for the actors. I wonder if anybody got hurt. Well, that just looks so menacing. You know, when the adaptive shielding kicks in?
Yes.
It's like they've got this menacing determination on the face. It's just the strength of one mind, the hive mind. You know? You're not an individual, you're part of a whole. And when one part's knocked out, the next part's there ready to take over. And this was great. This room was completely black. Pitch black. And all of a sudden the lasers start kicking in. Thought that was great. Meanwhile, in some random portal, Lily's getting a bit fed up of Picard. And he's like trying to explain to her, you know, we're from a new faction. No, we're not. I don't recognize this level of technology. He says, well, let me let you go. So Picard gives it a bit of a press on a panel here. And all of this, you could touch any button in Star Trek and it does exactly what you want it to do. Doesn't matter what it is. Because they're not very intuitive, those controls, I don't think. Mm. If you wanted a creamy chalk, which is number 69 on a vending machine, would you know which buttons to press there, Z?
I press 322s for a start and make up the rest.
2 from the top and 3 from the bottom, please, Carol.
Yeah.
So anyway, he opens this hatch up and he says, Montana's coming up soon. You might want to hold your breath. It's a long way down. And he starts giving her a bit of a geography lesson, doesn't he?
Hmm.
It's like, how can you do that?
What's the point of that? Doesn't it have glass? It's got a force field there.
Yeah.
So if the ship loses power and that's open, does everybody
they're screwed, aren't they?
In? Yeah.
The thing is, what does me as well, and I'll mention it now because I'll forget all about it when we get to the end of this scene, but he leaves that hatch completely open. What happens later say they do have a bit of a power failure, that room is going to completely decompress. So anyway, he says the technology has not been invented yet. And he says, if you'd have fired at me, you would have completely vaporized me. And she's like, oh, it's my first ray gun. As you do. He gives her a demo. Oh, it's shielding. I thought that was a great touch.
It's a great touch, but it would have made better being glass.
You
didn't really need that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a plot device, just to try and establish the fact that, you're in the future. You're on a ship from the future. That's why you don't recognize anything. She's having a bit of a moment of discovery, Alice in Wonderland, that kind of thing. And I like how they play on that a little bit, but they don't make it, they don't drag it out, which is quite good. But we get to a bit of the meat on the bone, because Data's getting quite perplexed who he's talking to now. Then we're introduced to the Borg Queen, played by Alice Krieg,
who
bits of her. Last I saw on TV was in a rerun of The Professionals. Did you know she was in The Professionals?
I did not know that.
Yeah. She plays a South African woman. She's actually from South Africa, isn't she, if I remember right?
Yes.
Let me have a quick look at Alice Krieg. I can find her. Oh. That's interesting. There we go. I mean, she must be getting on now. She must. Born in 1954 in Uppington, South Africa. Yeah, I thought she was. Alice Maud Krieg, 28th of June. Huh, interesting. So, yeah, I thought this was...
to reprise the role as well in Star Trek Picard and on Star Trek Lower Decks.
Yeah, she was in the season finale of Star Trek Picard Season 3, wasn't she?
Yes.
Only the voice, though. Because she did look quite rough. But I like this. There's all this spiny bit, and she's all upper body, torso. It's just a head. She's head and shoulders above the rest. Oh, we're here all week. But I thought that was really good. For 1996, this was just fantastic.
Now, considering we've seen all of her organic parts and skin in this part here, why has she got titties?
Well, that would have been one of the crew members that's been assimilated.
Batteries? Well, no, it's a Borg body.
I don't know. How's he going to do stuff with it later if it's not the body's obviously an assimilated body? But I don't think that body's fully robotic.
How many abs?
Yeah, got enough, love. I've been using the Ab Master. But she's, I don't know, weirdly hot. Although all the Borg kind of look a bit slimy.
Really? Because when I was in the cinema and she started coming on to Data, somebody shouted out, Data, she's a moose!
Oh, dear.
Much laughter.
Yeah. But Data's looking, even though they turn his emotion chip back on, don't they? He starts cacking it. And then they've grafted organic skin onto his exoskeleton. And she blows on it, and all the goosebumps go up. And he's like, oh. He's having a warm and fuzzy moment, isn't he? And she's like, was that good for you?
Where did she get the skin?
Yeah. Obviously, it's...
you can't get it from an assimilated crew member because they're Borgified and their skin goes all that horrible pasty grey colour with the lines all over it. But he's got some nice pink flesh.
It's quite fleshy, isn't it?
Have they got a crewman in the corner that they're just skinning alive for this process?
A little bit. Maybe they've assimilated a Yautja and it's just skinning people for laughs. But anyway, he does this whole, when Harry met Sally moment, doesn't he? He's like, oh, keep it in your pants, mate.
I'll have what he's having.
Yeah. But he's like, whoa. He's kind of bowled over, isn't he? But he's just being manipulated. And I love this bit here because they come out on this deck. Lily cacks her pants. And then, come with me. I know exactly what I'm doing. They won't see us as a threat. And she like goes, Borg, sounds Swedish. Brumts. One of the many groans the audience let out in the cinema. The whole data getting chatted up thing, everybody's like, oh. There was quite a few groans, where there was a bit of an attempt at a punnage.
Yes.
It wasn't well executed. Wasn't well received by some people. But these Borg, yet again, they look quite good. And this makes me laugh. 7 of 9's like got the best vision on Voyager. But how can you make heads or tails of things when it looks like you're looking out of a fishbowl? Hollow Suite 4, my favourite. It's got Smilex coatings. It's wetter than an otter's pocket.
Computer, generate 8 Beverly Crushers.
Good old Smilex. He was on fire on B-Sides last Friday. Hello to Atom. Really enjoyed the show. I stayed up late for B-Sides last week. I try my best to stay up, but I make it about 25, 30 minutes in and I'm like, oh, I can't do it. So it's re-rubbed the next day.
It's the timing for the UK.
Yeah. I don't know how Smilex does it,
I can't be up till 4 a.m. watching the show. So
that's what re-rubs are for, mate. That's why you have a re-rub. So they're going to
to catch it live, though.
Yeah. But this is a great callback to Next Gen because we have a Dixon Hill tie-in.
And also a DS9 tie-in with the 20th Century Comedy Club.
Oh, the one with Vic Fontaine. Vince Fontaine? Vic Fontaine?
Yeah, Vic Fontaine.
Because that was Thingy Darren, wasn't it, from TJ Hooker? Oh, crikey, what's his name?
At the French Cafe, is that the one that Riker fell for that woman on the holodeck?
Oh, Minuet.
Yes.
That the Binars created.
Correct, yes, in 10011100 or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and then there was a callback to it with the episode where Riker was trapped in that cave in Romulan space with that bug kid who pretended to be his son and she was his mother. Do you remember that?
I'm quite interested in equestrian adventure. What's going on there? Horse riding in an open countryside with a choice of
Emerald Wading Pool from Planet Samiko 3, a safe experience. Yeah, I never noticed. I'd never took the time to read that before, but now you mentioned it. Charnock's Comedy Charnock's Comedy Cabaret. This laptop screen is stupid. Laugh in a 20th Century Comedy Club. Gumshoe Detective Dixon Hill. But I like this. For some reason, Borg can't... maybe it's because they don't register as being alive. Maybe that's why the biosensors in the door can't pick them up. That's why they don't open.
But you notice how they're prizing open the door. They're not beating it down like they did before.
Yeah. Thing is, though, if you're going to panel beat it to try and get through it, it's not going to be able to open up because you've knocked it out of shape. It's not going to fit through that gap.
But so anyway, as you can see, they've got the Borg there who've got the strong fingers adaptation. So they've got the correct Swiss Army Borg for that situation.
For complex fingering. Anyway, another tie-in with Voyager here. Ethan Phillips, who plays Neelix. And he just does the Neelix voice. But he's like a club bouncer. I thought this was a good bit when they scanned him and his face went all weird. He kind of looked like Dale from the Green Mile. Only a little bit. He was Mr. Noodle. Dale from the Green Mile, I mean. So anyway, Picard starts talking to the bartender, and then he realizes in the wrong chapter, so he swaps chapters, and then this last comes up and plants one on him. It's totally inappropriate. So anyway, she's like, oh, maybe you ought to dump the broad. What's your caboose, Dix? I love that bit. Well, what's your caboose, Dix? It's proper gumshoe, isn't it?
But it's a great callback to the Dixon Hill episode.
But to see it on the big screen like this, with a huge budget, as opposed to the TV budget, was like, whoa. Thank you, Gavin. He says James Darren. That's who I was looking for. Manuel Greel. Bum Master, Stardate 46379.1. I love it. There we go. Peacat. Hi, mate. How are you? Says Future Imperfect was the episode with Raker. That's the one. I know. There's a good callback to Generations, I think. A monk, a clone, and a Ferengi walk into a bar. Or am I thinking about the Ferengi in a gorilla suit? No, anyway, moving swiftly on. He's looking for Nicky the Nose. Here's Nicky the Nose, who lights a match on his nose and then sparks up a cigar. And there's his bodyguard to the left of him there. And then these Borgs start coming into this club and they don't care. They're just like throwing people around. But Picard grabs a violin case. No cliches at all, lazy.
None at all.
And he just starts blasting away with people with murder in his eyes. And this is so good. Because he's like...
It's almost like they're, with the safety protocols off, it's like they're hard light bullets now.
Yeah. And it's like even a holographic bullet can kill. And he just shoots everything up. And these Borg don't stand a chance. But you can see this Ahab, this whole Moby Dick theme coming to the surface here. Because, you know, the anger, the bitterness, the resentment, the hurt that Picard's been carrying around for the last 6 years, it just comes to a head with him, doesn't he? It kind of, for want of a better word, it's almost like he's having a bit of a nervous breakdown, but it's like he can control it. You know,
the only way this scene could have been better was him going, "Die, you mother hearers!"
Yes. So anyway, this Borg's out for the count, and then Lily steps in. I think you got him. Whoa! Nice shooting text. Somebody actually said that in the cinema. Come out with that classic line from Ghostbusters, and that got quite a few chuckles from people, including me. And it wasn't me what came out with that, but ever since then, whoa, nice shooting text. Just every time I see this scene, you know how your mind makes an association with something funny. That's it. It's stuck now. So anyway, this is one of your crew members.
Ensign Lynch.
This was Ensign Lynch.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. And then it's funny that the neural transceiver is now in your stomach. How does that work?
And it's instantly compatible with the tricorder.
Yeah. Funny that, isn't it? It's almost like a convenient plot device.
So the movie can happen.
Yeah. I didn't really see Alfred Woodard in quite so many things after this. I know she was in The Core. That was the last time I think I saw her in anything sci-fi related. That's a great bad film. Anyway, moving on. He now knows the plan of the Borg. They want to set up what's it called? An interplexing beacon on the deflector dish. Meanwhile, Zephram Cochrane's got a bit of a drink problem. Yet again.
I don't think it's a problem. I think he just doesn't have enough of it.
Well, these people from the 24th century cannot see any flaws in this guy. They've only seen what they know about him from historic information. You know, he got this big vision and he wanted to improve humanity and he fixed all of the world's problems by, inventing warp speed. But he's just like everybody else. He's so flawed. But he's been put up on a pedestal in the future and people can't see past that. He's a drunk, he's a coward, he's greedy, he's selfish, and his level of self-preservation is off the scale. But Geordie shouts him, "Oh, you got a minute, Doctor?" Yeah. Doing that cough to get rid of the whiff of tequila off his breath. And he says, I've redesigned the warp intermix chamber. Did I get it right? And he's like, well, yeah. He says, it's just pretty much what I remembered from high school. And in the background, there's a familiar face. And Argentum, I know, is going to love this. And so is Jill. Because we've got Reg Barkley making a bit of a comeback there.
Howling Matt Murdoch.
Yeah. Great one from Atom. Never meet your heroes. It's true. I've always refused. And then, it's like, we're going to use this bit of copper tubing as a warp plasma conduit. What do you reckon? And it's just an excuse because he wants to get close to Zephram Cochrane. And he's like, stars in their eyes kind of thing. he goes, "Oh, I'm so happy to be working with you on this project, Doctor. I never thought I'd get to meet the man who invented warp drive." And Zephram's like, "Oh my God, really?" He just doesn't want that level of attention. It's like he's just a regular Joe. He doesn't necessarily want to accept what the future's going to give him, but he's making a self-fulfilling prophecy. And Geordie's like, "You're almost stood on the spot where your statue is, like you're reaching out towards the stars, reaching out to save humanity." And he's like, I love this bit. "Oh, that's great. I've got to take a leak." "A leak? I'm not detecting any leak." He says, Don't you go to the toilet in the future?" "Oh, a leak." And because he's never heard that one before, he thinks it's hilarious. Meanwhile, reports of somebody's assimilation have been greatly exaggerated. And Picard says to Beverly, "I think I found something you lost." And then I love this bit. "I'm a Klingon." Really? I thought
she
just
doesn't know that.
No, I know. It's like he could have just said, "I had a Ginsters glued to my forehead for a bet, and I can't get it off." Because they do look a bit Cornish pasty, don't they, to be fair. But this is great. Worf gets his odd little... I've noticed this, every member of the Next Gen cast gets their own little segment every now and again. Everything's like breadcrumbs. You either get a callback or something, just to give you that familiarity. Because we already know these characters. We're established with them, aren't we? But like you say, at this point, apart from nutcases, sorry, not many people have seen an alien outside of Earth. So anyway, Picard's giving the plot away. They're going to build an interplexing beacon on the deflector dish. What you like at 0G combat? "It made me sick to my stomach." In the meantime, Zephyr Cochrane's gone missing. And if Geordie's eyes are that good, why is he using a tricorder? But I like this. Another chance to zoom into Geordie's eyes. This must be great having eyes like that. You could be sat there minding your own business, but perving on that fit bird at number 33.
With your X-ray vision.
Yeah, like Pervo Vision. That'd be something great for B-sides, Atom. Filmed live in Pervo Vision. Da-da-da. A Quim Martin production. But I like this. He goes like Predator Vision, doesn't he? Over here. Turn around. In the meantime, watch your caboose, dicks. I intend to. Picard's a bit smug at this point. I think he's a bit overconfident. But then again...
I really love how this starts out, because the scene starts out, they're all upside down when they leave the airlock.
Yeah, that's right.
And then goes right way up. I think that's a really impressive idea to have come up with that.
Well, it's true. There's no up or down in space. When you're in 0G, it doesn't matter. But like you say, when they do this bit, the level of quality here.
When you see the entire underside of the ship.
Yeah, like that.
You don't get to see it that often.
And look at them, they're so tiny, just up to the left of that RCS thruster. Can you see it there? And they've got to go...
the escape pods as well.
Yeah. And they've got to walk all across, up there and across, and then up again to get to the main deflector dish. But if you notice there, where's the captain's yacht gone? Because that is the photon launcher. So where's the captain's launch gone?
I don't know, because it used to be right on the underside of the saucer, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was a little oval thing. I remember this because it was a separate item you had to build on the model. And
the thing is, though, we didn't
in
see
space.
the captain's yacht until Insurrection.
Nope.
Which is weird, because it's not there. I don't think it is anyway. And it's same with Voyager. Voyager had a captain's yacht as well, but Janeway never used it. But I like this bit. In a bit of a slip-up by the Borg, Data tries to make an escape, and he just bashes Borg left, right, and centre. But it's kind of a trap, really. I think the Borg Queen intentionally let him go. Bit of a truth test. Well, anyway, another Borg tries to attack him and cuts the new flesh that he's got. Where's that blood coming from?
Exactly. It's just skin. There is no blood vessels.
Yeah.
There's no blood supply to that skin. It's just skin.
Yeah, and he's pressing down on meat as well. And it can't be just skin, because you'd see all the LEDs and all the circuitry lights coming through the skin with it being that thick.
Mm.
But he's like, he cradles it, doesn't he? And he's like, protecting it. The Borg Queen makes everybody back off. And there's like, she's kind of saying you're becoming more and more human, you're becoming flawed. It's all a lot of, like, I don't know, picking at flaws, this film, in characters. You've got Zefram Cochrane, who, he's up on this pedestal, but he's just a human. He's got flaws. Picard, everybody looks up to him because he's the captain, but he's showing his flaws. And now we've also got Data showing his flaws as well. I find that all very intriguing.
Well, it kind of places all of them in a position of vulnerability.
Yeah.
So it helps build the tension, because there is every opportunity that they're going to lose this battle.
Yes. It's very uncertain, because as of yet, apart from that slight short victory they had at the end of Best of Both Worlds Part 2, not many people have had any significant wins against the Borg. They've been undefeatable, They're like they're basically the most destructive thing in the galaxy. And then you've got this manipulation technique. She's saying, you don't need that Data. Go on, rip it off. Go on. She's just manipulating him at this point. And then he kind of twists like, get what you get. I know, I see where you're going with this. Whoa, just hold on a minute. And then we get the old, are you familiar with pleasures of the flesh?
I am.
And we get there you go. Versed in multiple techniques.
Call back to Naked Now.
Oh, yeah. And she says, when was the last time you got laid? And he reels it off like, it's like 6 years, 8 months, 23 days, 8 hours, 36 seconds. And she's like, whoa, boy, way too long. Get your pants off. And there we go. In for the snog.
She's a moose.
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't know. Ugh. No, not for me, I'm afraid. I mean, technically, it's like he's getting off with the Terminator's mum.
And at the end of this scene, she actually opens her eyes and looks at him. His eyes closed, as if to say, gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. All that sort of manipulation at play there. And like you were saying about the underside of the ship, and because they're in a zero-G environment outside of the deck plating, this was so good. And look at that, the Federation logo on the side of the Enterprise. You've got that in comparison
as well.
Yeah, you've got the Aztec in.
Yeah, so beautiful.
It's good when they actually do that. And like I said, ILM only had 5 months to do all the optical effects and, the CGI and everything and compositing. It's first rate. I mean, end of the day, ILM are like, they're the bee's knees. Item 9. But yeah, again, you've got this like whole down is up and up is down now. Don't look at the stars, Mr. Worf. And then you've got the Borg making this interplexing beacon. They're basically trying to contact the Borg in the 21st century, who are still in the Delta Quadrant. And this makes me laugh, right? If the Borg have got all this transwarp network, right, why haven't they come to Earth sooner? Kind of flaws.
Yeah.
There's lots of little cracks and flaws in all the things, even in canon. It's like, well, hang on a minute. The Borg could do this, and they had the technology then, but why can't they do that now? And there's lots of plot holes.
Because the Borg never used time travel again, and to be honest, they should. If they've already mastered it at this point, future encounters with the Borg, they should fully embrace time travel technology by that point.
Yeah. Why haven't the Federation from 29th century Earth gone back and fixed the temporal problems. You know, like in the episode of Voyager, you know, when they expanded on the Captain Braxton story?
Yeah.
And Seven of Nine had to basically keep going back in time to elude Captain Braxton's other self from another timeline from setting a bomb on Voyager. That was a great episode. And that guy who played the lieutenant came back in season 3 of Picard as a character. The FBI guy who'd been visited by Vulcans. Do you remember that? Maybe not. It wasn't that memorable. He was also a bad guy in Burn Notice as well. I can't remember his name offhand. But anyway,
Picard season 3. Get off.
It was good, but I feel kind of foolish for falling for all the member berries. Like I said, it was all low-hanging fruit. Terry Matalas did that. But then again, how much leeway did he really have?
Well, he didn't have Patrick Stewart making the call on what the plot should be.
Oh, God, yeah.
Which
Eraserhead.
Season 1 and 2 is absolutely unwatchable.
Yeah, he kind of derailed things, didn't he? Best of intentions and all that. Eraserhead. Yeah, there's a bit of a bromance going on there. Eraserhead 666 says, it's a well-shot and engaging movie, but it's not incredibly written by any means. And I agree with that.
They've dispensed with logic for action.
Swappers, hello, mate. I wish you'd have come on tonight. You were one of our first guests on the streams. So, yeah, we've been on the air a year now. Swappers says to me, how much time do you think ILM have left before they're rendered redundant with the growth of AI creating CGI? Oh, the irony. I don't know. You know, I heard that in his Emperor voice. You know, the one that sounds like Basil Brush?
Yes.
Oh, the irony. Bum, bum.
To be honest, I mean, CGI has really gone backwards in the last 15, 20 years. I mean, you have a look at things like Pirates of the Caribbean. The CGI in that was absolutely top notch. And even the CGI on Thanos in Infinity War, absolutely amazing. You could see every pore on his face. But as time has progressed, it seems to have got worse and worse. It's like they've got rid of seasoned professionals and just got interns in to do the CGI on TV and movies now. And it's very noticeable.
Yeah, you're kind of getting what you pay for, aren't you? Quick hello to Andrew Broadbent. Evening, gentlemen. On the re-rub already? Great. PCAT says, I want to know, with all the species the Borg have assimilated, how come they don't have cloaking technology? That's a good point. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Paul Dickinson says, First Contact was a roller coaster ride of a movie. Just sit back and enjoy the ride. Yeah, I think you have to a little bit with that. And sometimes you've got to give films that leeway so they can have a bit of a stretch. But here we go. Zefram Cochrane is basically surrounded and trapped by his own destiny. And he says, I don't want any part of this. And Riker's like, I ain't got time for this. And he just phases him. And he just like knocks him into a bankside and he ends up in a brook. It's like, what? There's a great line referencing this a little bit later on when they're in the Phoenix. And then he says, oh, you told him about the statue? Yet again, another bit of an attempt at humour. That didn't quite pull off.
I think Captain Archer in Enterprise has a model of the statue in his ready room.
Yeah. Yes. He does, because his dad, Henry, was well in, wasn't he? With
exactly the same way that Geordie does in this.
Yeah, I remember that now. So anyway, there's 3 magnetic locks that hold the main deflector dish in place. Now, they've got to do what's called a maglock cycle. So they've all got to turn off these units, but they're all locked out at the moment because normally these panels are only accessed by either the engineering crew in a pinch, but mainly these are used in dry dock. You know, like the repair crews at dry dock access these features. But all these panels are offline, so they've got to put them back on. And it's a case of basically hot wiring the isolinear chips. Access denied. LCARS command net not available. I love the LCARS theme. That is just so good. And yet Picard starts hacking into it. And then the Borg starts coming for him. Poof. And what did he say? Don't fire at the main deflector dish. It's
You blow
charged
up
with...
off the ship.
Yeah. So what does he do?
Idiot.
See, this is one of the rare occasions where the storylines kind of blur and they get it wrong. They contradict themselves. But here we go. The Borg have adapted to the frequencies. And Borg's got like a mini, not a bat'leth, is it? It's kind of like some kind of...
Like half a bat'leth.
Yeah.
A bat or a leth.
Probably just the bat. So anyway, he bats up and he gets this Borg in the neck. But the Borg finally gets one in at the last moment because he like scratches his leg and his suit starts losing pressure. And it's like decompression in 15 seconds. It's nice how the suits have got the Major Barrett standard Federation computer voice. Meanwhile, Picard's going around these maglocks, and there's Ensign Hawk.
Lieutenant Hawk.
Oh, sorry.
By Neil McDonough, who was Damien Dark in the Flash series for quite some time, and also played Dum Dum Dugan in Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yeah, he was in a lot of good things. He was in Minority Report as well, wasn't he?
Tulsa King as well. It's one of his earlier roles.
He got blackballed. He says he got blackballed by Hollywood
because he wouldn't kiss anybody but his wife, so he wouldn't do romance scenes.
Yeah, true. And I'm glad he's a staunch Christian, apparently, by all accounts. Good for him.
So they made his character gay, and in press releases they said his character was gay, but it's not shown in this at all. They did it in a couple of comics. But
what, this Lieutenant Hawk?
Yeah, I think they did that to irritate him.
Yeah. Anyway, Andrew Broadbent says, I've been to one of those meetings. Well done on year one, Trev. I was in there. Yes, you were. You were one of the channel's first supporters. Thank you for that. I really do appreciate it. As is Paul Dickinson and also Yuzi as well. We had a bit of a thing going off where YouTube wasn't quite doing the do, and I tried to like jazz things up, but it kind of backfired. But hey ho, that happens. Just as an aside, I'll stick that on the screen. Channel memberships are back on YouTube if you want to help support the channel. They're also available at patreon.com/Trev Retro if Patreon's your thing. If not, like I say, once we get to, let's see, I did say 20 members, but I'm going to make it 10. If we get to 10 channel memberships, I will start doing probably like once a fortnight a members only stream, no holds barred.
Oh, that's a very good idea. Say what you like.
Exactly. And I can do it. I can do it in a manner where the AI isn't going to be as authoritarian as what it's being at the moment. So we're having to be a bit nicely. And I like this. And a simulated Klingon. There's a couple in First Contact, strangely enough. But that one looks particularly mean. He looks like he's got a ginsters and a half stuck to his forehead. But he grabs older Ensign Hawk. He's a goner. And then another Borg starts coming for Picard. And I love this. He does a bit of zero G, doesn't he? He demagnifies his boots and just like saunters over from one side of the deflector dish to the other. There we go. Stick them back on. These suits, funnily enough, were made for First Contact. And then the Voyager production used them for several episodes. Like the Demon Planet and the episode where they ejected the warp core and B'Elanna and Tom Paris were stranded in space. Some great episodes. Anyway, Picard manages to get the rest of the Maglock cycle complete, and all these like little locking devices blow off, and then the platform starts coming away from the rest of the deflector dish. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Hawk is now a Borg.
He's been assimilated at super speed, hasn't he?
Yeah. That is something else. Those nanoprobes really do go for it. And he punches Picard, cracks his visor, and he's just about to stamp on his helmet. But that's not very nice. Has anybody ever stamped on your helmet?
Oh, I've been paid to stamp on some people's helmets.
Well, if it's good pay, go for it. But Worf dispatches him with a phaser shot. It's funny that Worf clearly stated that all the Borg had adapted to the frequencies of the phasers, and yet he shoots that guy. He's done for. Anyway, this starts lifting up, and the interplexing beacon starts firing up, and it's still attached. There's always a dodgy cable somewhere. It's like a SCART cable. They were bloody annoying, weren't they, back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
But Picard's on this mega vengeance thing. He's got a bit of the thing for doing the Borg, and he just blasts away at that. And because that plan's scuppered, the Borg Queen, things have changed.
Can't call for reinforcements.
Yeah. Look at that. She's holding Data's hand, and he's still strapped down. So she's still trying to manipulate him.
And there's one of back all the Borg from that period of time to come and assimilate Earth.
Although, according to form, there are already Borg on Earth. Oh no, they're from the wreckage, aren't they? The other ones in Enterprise.
Yes, they're from the
wreckage of that Borg sphere, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, this got a bit of a titty knot in the cinema. Assimilate this.
Assimilate this.
And what?
I am Weasel.
Yeah. Hey, we were on about that, weren't we, the other week? Oh, I am Weasel. I are Monkey. I are Baboon. That was it.
I are Baboon.
Anyway, that's quite an impressive shaft on the top of the Phoenix there. I think that looks quite proud. Well, that's got to be a real missile, an ex-US Air Force missile thing.
Do you think it looks a bit like the front of the Eagles from Space 1999?
A little bit, doesn't it? Yeah. Like with those side panelings of the cockpit.
Yeah.
That looks so good. Oh, my God. Oh, trust you. Swappers has come out with the right comment in the chat. Only you, Swappers. I will save it for Friday. He's going on about a video we saw once. We'll move swiftly on. But meanwhile, in the Phoenix, and he says, oh, yeah, I'm ready to go. But he's like, I've got a right hangover. I don't know whether that's from the tequila or that your laser blast, or maybe both.
Only the size of my head.
Yeah. Admiral, Captain, I thought Romulan ale was illegal. But anyway, they opened the hangar, the bunker hatch, and they can see the moon. And then Riker's explaining to him, because of this technology he's invented and how things are going to change. He says there's 50 million people living on the moon in my time. And he's going on about Lake Armstrong and this, that, and the other, and Tycho City. Thing is, though, right, Zephram Cochrane can't see out. He can't see what's in front, can he? Only the two people in the back seats can see out. Zephram Cochrane's actually not got a view of what's transpiring. Odd that. Very bizarre. And then he's going on about, I don't know about this man of the future you keep talking about. He's not the same person as me. And then he explains to Riker why he invented warp drive. Because he wanted to be on an island full of naked women, tropical island, lots of sun, free beer, open bar. That's Zephram Cochrane.
Yeah, he didn't build this ship to usher in a new era of humanity. He doesn't want to go to the stars. He doesn't even like to fly.
I catch trains. Oh, dear. But there's a good bit. Worf's kind of lost his patience with Captain Picard. He's saying, I think you're letting your feelings on the Borg cloud your judgment. And there's quite a bit of a tense moment here. And they're trying to get him to set the self-destruct to blow up the Borg. You want to blow the ship up and run away, you coward. And then she's saying,
where he stood.
If you were any other man, I would kill you where you stand. Get off my bridge, you chicken. That'd be funny.
Pasty-headed moron.
Yeah. You ginstered-looking freak. Get off my bridge. You smell like Greg's on a Thursday. And then Beverly backs up the chain of command and she says, once the captain's given an order, we follow it. Yeah, and another one of them little bit parts. She's just a filler, isn't she, at this point? Apart from medical emergencies, Beverly Crusher is quite irrelevant in the grand scheme of Trek.
Well, at least you got to nub a ghost.
Captain Picard's not dead yet. Oh, yeah, he is. He's fully functional now, isn't he? And practiced in many techniques. And then we get to Lily, rather. She's saying, you need to listen to what people are telling you. You can't keep fighting these people. People are dying. You're fighting a losing battle. Just blow up your ship. And Picard kind of, this whole revenge and vengeance and being hurt. Basically, he's traumatized from what happened when he was assimilated. He never truly got over it.
But all that trauma is being revisited to him now. He's had to kill members of his own crew.
Yeah.
To prevent them from going any further. So he's completely revisiting everything that's happened to him. It's fully understandable why he's on edge.
Yes. He is. He's kind of, good one here from Punchy. Punchy says he's got PTSD. Yes, he has.
And that's enough for Dr. Crusher to relieve him of command.
Well, yeah.
But she doesn't.
Swapper says, I occasionally thought Gates McFadden looked nice in TNG, but in this, she looks super tasty. She does.
Absolutely
she looks like a pot knacker. Oh, just to remind folk, if you want to chuck as a pot knacker, it's worth celebrating because it's the channel's first anniversary today. This time last year, me, Z, Swappers, Brian, Gamer, I think that's everybody, we did our very first show, Breaking the Seal, where we didn't particularly do anything. We just, it was just, the mission statement was, we just wanted to make YouTube fun again. And that's what we did. We had a good time. And it was early days. We've learned a lot of things. I've learned a hell of a lot in a year. But like I say, channel's first anniversary. Memberships are available either here or on Patreon. And I know people don't like people like me rattling tins. But even if you just, like the video or subscribe, that would be fantastic. So anyway, Picard kind of realizes his error. He's kind of snapped out of it a little bit. He's had a bit of a smack bomb, hasn't he, from Lily? And then the pennies finally dropped. Did you notice which model he broke? It's the Enterprise C. I ain't too bothered about that. I can live with that. If I never saw that ship ever again, that is like the worst. I don't know who designed it. Was it Rick Sternbach? Does anybody know in the chat? Who designed the Enterprise C? Crikey. My goodness. Gavin Blackburn, wrenched for £2. Thank you. That's one pot knacker. It is indeed. Oh, thank you, Z. That's
for a Bombay Borg pot knacker.
That's 2.5 Bombay Borg pot knackers. I don't think we do that. I could do you a nice offer on a Selby grill steak.
Yeah. The Enterprise C was conceptualized by Andy Probert.
Oh, Andy Probert. Do you know he's designed so much cool stuff? Airwolf, Street Hawk, to name a few things.
And
thank you for the supers, guys.
Original concept was a cross between the Excelsior and Galaxy class.
Yeah, I can see that, but I don't know. It doesn't gel for me. So anyway, Picard, 64924089869 Alpha Tango. They're giving it all that, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, this is a callback to Star Trek 3 and the Corbinite maneuver. Because they did the whole destruct sequence, takes 3 of them, doesn't it? Gamer says, pot knackers for everyone. Indeed. Have a celebratory pot knacker, the channel's first anniversary. Well done, Trev. Glass of champagne, a little cocktail glass. Thank you for that. I've got a bit of a surprise for you on Friday, Atom. I've done you a little video. You're going to like this one. Z's seen it. What did you reckon, Z?
Very good.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Fridays are indeed.
Picard 47 Alpha Tango, my 4-digit pin.
Yeah.
It's the same one it uses for communications. You'd think you'd have a different one for auto-destruct.
It's a shame they don't have money in the future because I bet that's his pin number for getting his cash out the hole in the wall.
Oh, no, you need to go to Star Trek conventions, be a pickpocket there. Everybody's pin is always 1701.
Yeah. Oh, do you know, I've been guilty of that too in the past, having 1701 as a password.
I told
And
that
it's
joke
just.
at a Star Trek convention, and you should have seen people's faces. They were bloody mortified.
Oh dear, I was supposed to be going to a con, but there's one happening in South Yorkshire soon, and a friend of mine's setting that up, and I'm hoping to snag a few comps. Might go along to that. I might. I know somebody who's very good with a needle and thread, and I've kind of had a chat and said, "Could you make me this?" And I'm kind of looking to get a bit of a monster maroon thing going off, because I'd love a monster maroon, Scotty sized. I've thought about doing that, going to cosplays as Scotty, because he's the only character I can pull off now. I've got the grey hair and the mustache and the belly. So anyway, we're getting off track. I'm going on a tangent. Beverly gives out the last command. Oh, Worf does, and then it's like 15 minutes silent countdown. And I love this bit when the computer talks and they're all loading up into these escape pods. But have you noticed, like, these panels and the Jeffries tubes all look the same? It's like they've redressed the sets.
I was also wondering how Worf is the third person when he's not even a member of this crew.
Yeah, but it's all on the database, isn't it? The Federation database.
So you're basically saying that any 3 rogue Starfleet officers can go onto a ship and blow it up?
I don't know. I think in some capacity, Picard would have, at some point off camera, given Worf access back on the Enterprise system.
Mm.
And I love this bit. Mr. Worf, I regret some of the things I said previously. Some. So what didn't he mean? That he's a coward, or, or he wants to run away? So anyway, he says he's in fact the bravest man he's ever known. And it's like, yeah, all right, thank you. Much Qapla'. Ooh. So anyway, as they're about to disembark from the ship, data transmits on the Borg interlink frequency. Captain.
You've missed one of the best lines.
Go on.
So much for the Enterprise F.
E. There's plenty more letters in the alphabet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that, but that's more of an audible thing than a visual thing. It's a bit hard to capture that on a slide sometimes. Anyway, good point. I like that. It's a good call. You called me out, and I agree with you. Meanwhile, back in Bozeman, Montana, 39 seconds to launch. And yet again, this is quite impressive work. This, I could understandably 100% believe that is at the bottom of a missile chamber. That looks so good.
Mm.
In fact, that's better quality than the ones in war games. Z.
Yes.
Would you like to play a game? Sorry. Anyway, I love this bit. Oh, no, I forgot something really important. And Geordie's like, I'm breaking it. And it's like, Riker's like, what have you forgot? And he forgot like a mini disc. And he puts on Steppenwolf, Magic Carpet Ride.
Carpet Ride. What a great tune.
And he goes, let's rock and roll. And then it's all go for launch. And I just thought that was brilliant. This is so believable. Let me move us down a little bit. Where shall we go? Let's go down here. There we go. We can see Riker now. Got a bit too clever for me own good with these moving us around on screen, but it's hard to get everything right in proportion. So anyway, I love this. Riker's cool as a cucumber. Geordie's just loving it. And the only person cacking it is Zephram Cochrane. And then you've got all these people just drunk in a bar, and then a missile just takes off at the back of the pub.
They must have thought the war was back on.
What would you do if you were sat in your boozer and you saw that flying up? You'd think, God, this is good stuff.
Pass me the bottle.
Yeah.
We haven't got long left.
I'll have a pint of what he's having. And it's like, he turns the music off, and they've got a couple of warning lights, and he just bangs panels. Oh, just ignore it. And I love this, like we were saying earlier when you mentioned about the work of ILM.
Yeah. When
How
the
good.
sights jettison and
Yeah,
those prototype nacelles come out of the main body casing.
like that.
Beautiful.
And I know you can't hear sounds in a vacuum, but I just loved how it like went and it unfurled and it all sounded very convincing. And there you go, you've got like a standard chemical rocket there. Presumably that's for... How did they re-land that? Did the Phoenix capsule at the top jettison and just come in on a...
That's a very good point. I don't know how they would have landed that back on Earth.
I know
Mind
I've got
you,
my...
Elon has managed vertical landings already.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it can probably do the same, which is why it's still got the big booster on the back.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Obviously to negate gravity when they're doing re-entry.
I remember being on a panel one time, and I purposely said something to generate curiosity and possibly some decent answers from people. When I said, how did he do that when they've not got dilithium crystals? Knowing full well that this was run on a kind of plasma. It was a fusion system generating plasma out to the nacelles. That's why this could not go faster than warp 1. Because the energy requirements were just not there. But I said that once just to, get people talking. And I got lauded on another channel, which quite riled me at the time. But they didn't get the point of what I was trying to do. You know how you say something purposely wrong, so somebody corrects you and you end up talking about it? It was one of those situations. But like you say, just look at that. And those nacelles, what do you think of when you see those nacelles like that? The original Enterprise.
Yep.
Which is, again, another great callback. And it's like, oh boy, Zephram's really getting into it now. Meanwhile, aboard the Enterprise, Lily's like, well, if you see Commander Riker, give him this and, let me know how you get on. And she's like, you're not coming, are you? No, because he's going to rescue his mate. He's going to rescue Data like everybody rescued him at the end of Best of Both Worlds Part 2. He's going to do the same thing for Data. Now, let me put us back over there. There we go. We're a bit bigger now. And I love this scene of the escape pods being launched from the Enterprise. What did you think when you saw this? It's
the first time we've actually seen the escape pods being used. They're on the original Enterprise and all the Enterprise models right up until now, but I've never seen them being launched before.
No, I'd not. Well, tell a lie. The only time I'd seen anything like that was in the pilot for Deep Space Nine, when Ben Sisko and his son are ejected out the back of that Miranda class.
Yeah.
Well, this is totally different to these, of course.
They also did something similar in the 2009 Star Trek movie, which was equally impressive. But
I
most
don't
of
do
those
JJ.
were shuttles and escape pods.
Don't do JJ. There's no Trek after 2009. Just saying. So anyway, that is just... They're all going to a place called Gravette Island. So what they're going to do, set up a pre-warp Federation colony till they're rescued.
With the most advanced technology on the planet.
Yeah. How weird. Why that island? Is it real? I never looked it up. And yet there's Google at my disposal, and I just couldn't be asked. So anyway, Picard goes to engineering to try and rescue Data. What's he going to do? He's just one guy. And look at that. That's weird. That Klingon that was on the deflector dish had no facial hair or no hair on his head. And yet this Klingon has still got facial hair. How does that work? Bizarre, that. But I like this. Picard comes into engineering, and then I call this one the Baron because it looks like he's got a monocle. Yeah, this is the Baron. I'm going to assimilate you, Picard.
Alles klar.
Oh, God, I kind of reminded myself of that dude from, what's that? That cartoon. Where is that professor? And there's like a platypus trying to kill him all the time.
Phileas and Ferb.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated.
Yeah. I've noticed that my daughters tended to lean towards that in various stretches, but never really appealed to me.
A
So
platypus?
anyway,
Billy, a platypus?
I don't get it. So anyway, Picard's startled. Don't you remember Locutus? And the thing is, she's also got a bit of PSTD going off because she can't get over the fact that Picard dumped her.
Mm.
She's still angry about that.
And
It's a
this is where
complex film.
Picard reveals his plan to offer himself in place of Data.
Yeah. He says, that's what you wanted. An equal. A human who could bridge the gap between humanity and the Borg. And then he says, I'll give myself freely, willingly. Just let Data go. And then she just touches his face and says, such a noble creature. It's just weird. And he says, Data, you're free to go. And he's like, no. And then they have you ever heard of a Swedish double fudge? Just change the word fudge.
I have not. Please don't tell me what it is.
It's like a double switcheroo where you confidence trick somebody into believing that they're on your side, you're on their side, but you're really not. It's like a double agent type thing.
Oh, so nothing to do with bumming then?
No, bumming a cigarette. No, not in this case. So anyway, auto-destruct deactivated. Data gets back into the system and turns off the auto-destruct. And he's like, Data, stop it. But now he's got a bit more flesh, which is weird, really.
A nice touch is the Outcast panel is still red, which means he hasn't unlocked the Enterprise and given it to her yet.
No, he's only deactivated the auto-destruct. And yet you've got all that Borgification all over the screens. And the Enterprise on that logo, on that screen, it's gone Borg green, the outline. I love that. Michael Okuda created something that's lightning in a bottle right there, isn't it?
Yes.
That whole aesthetic for the next gen and everything after that. And now she wants complete control of the system. She orders Data to unlock the system. What do you reckon? I didn't ask you about this. I know we just touched on it briefly previously, but what are your thoughts on the new style of warp core?
Impractical. It just seems overly big for the sake of it. It didn't really need to be as huge a set as it is. But obviously Picard needs to go somewhere in the finale. So I suppose its height really does need to be that height, because otherwise he's going nowhere and will die.
Yeah, I noticed split level engineering sections became a thing again because we had those in the motion picture with the refit Enterprise.
Yep.
Oh, that was impressive.
Little lifts and everything.
Yeah. And that, when I saw that for the first time, I mean, Kirk looks down past the warp core right down to the bottom, and it just looks like it goes on forever, and he looks up and it just looks so impressive. You know, and this is more, isn't it? This is like another 90 years on top of the motion picture refit. And the technology, while it's pretty much the same, they've maxed out, haven't they, in Star Trek? Now they can go up warp 9.999995, but they can't actually achieve 10. And you're not going to turn into a salamander because that particular type of dilithium was so rare, it was a one-off in the Delta Quadrant. But we don't talk about that episode of Voyager called Threshold. It never happened. There is no threshold.
There is no threshold. Two things deserved everything.
And, Tom Paris didn't have his way with Janeway.
And Harry Kim never got promoted.
I know, it's weird that, isn't it? And yet Tom Paris was a lieutenant. Then he got broke down to ensign in that Waterworld episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then 5 minutes later, he's back to being a lieutenant. So he went from lieutenant to ensign to lieutenant. And during the 7-year run of Voyager, Harry Kim wasn't even field promoted once.
Not a single time. They must really have hated him.
Yeah. Poor Harry Kim. But I love this. Data doesn't even make one utterance to Picard at all.
I like how his eyes are different colours. You got Brent Spiner's natural eye colour, and then
Yeah.
Data's contacts on the other side.
And look at that. They've left like a purposeful gap between how he's. I mean, that skin does look quite red. Looks inflamed, doesn't it? And the eyeball too. But they've like left a subtle gap so you can see the LEDs and stuff underneath. I thought that's a really nice touch.
Maybe they'll give him an analgesic cream.
Yeah, I was thinking that, to be fair. I didn't know whether to just drop that as a funny, but if you notice the bottom part, like the left side of his cheek, can you see how there's like a bump and a rise and whatnot? That is underneath the prosthetic bit there. So there's like a couple of surface mount LEDs sticking out in that gap. That's the power source for it there, but they've just hidden it in the prosthetic, which is quite cool, really.
It is.
Because you wouldn't
really
notice
adds
it.
To the effect.
But the thing is, you only notice it because of the light. You know how it's hitting the like from where his sideburns would be. So anyway, Brent's Data says he'll make an excellent drone, but he says it in such a droll, matter-of-fact way, which I thought was really good. And the Borg Queen, she's like, yeah, I've really pulled it. I must be hot. I've really reprogrammed this guy. I must be fully functional. Yeah. I mean, she looks like she's got a light bulb like stuck to the back of her head. In fact, you know what she kind of reminds me of? One of the characters from Hellraiser. So anyway, Picard's going to be turned back into not so top of the range Locutus. He's going to be like Aldi Locutus. So anyway, they finally get all the warp core set up, ready to go. And he says engage. And then like Geordie and Riker just look at each other. It's like, hey. But I love this bit. Nacelles fully charged. Oh, excuse me.
Well, that's okay.
I didn't know that came out of nowhere. And you got the Enterprise in the background.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When Zephyr Cochrane sees it, you get the bars of the Jerry Goldsmith original motion picture theme, or the intro to TNG.
Yeah, TNG. And then he like, sweet Jesus, and the big shadow. Oh, don't worry, Doc. I think they're just going to give us a send-off. It's not quite like that, I'm afraid. So they're just about to bring all the external sensors back online, and she's going to make Picard watch his future's end. But he's not going to argue because Dremel Borg's there again, isn't he? Or is that his mate? Is that Black and Decker Borg?
I think that's Buzzsaw.
That's more of a circular saw, isn't it, than a Dremel? Yeah. He's a bit beefier, this guy. But he's I just love this. The way the camera's looking up at Data.
Do you see how his hair is more naturally styled on his human side?
Yeah. It's kind of got that Harvey Dent vibe going off to him,
doesn't he?
Yeah. Crikey, Two-Face. Who was the better Two-Face? Was it Aaron Lockhart or Tommy Lee Jones? Please don't say Tommy Lee Jones.
It's not Tommy Lee Jones. I'm going to go with Billy D. Williams.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Anyway, they've locked on to the Phoenix. Meanwhile, I love this, and I made a point of getting a screenshot of this. Like how you've got almost like the Federation took their inspiration for their control panels from this. And you've got TL774. I'm sure that's a chip. I could be wrong, but it sounds like one. If you know where a TLO702 is and all that malarkey, kind of sounds like that. And DO119, that sounds like a diode. But that's just me being a nerd.
I love the design and the lettering and the pixelation around the various bits. It reminds me of early Atari games.
Kind of, yeah. Look at that space warp engaged. So right from the outset, he knew what he was creating. Look at that light status, light speed +1. Grumman specs offline. I wonder what that means. And I love this shot. The size of the Enterprise compared to the Phoenix.
is absolute massive.
And it's even bigger than the Excelsior. Less decks, but it's bigger. How does that work? Weird.
No idea.
So anyway, the Borg Queen instructs Data to blow the Phoenix to bits. And Data kind of just, for a split second, holds off. And they launch some quantum torpedoes. And they watch as your futures end. And the Borg Queen's like, she's salivating at the prospect of the Federation coming to an end. And then you get this great shot. I mean, just look at them nacelles fully charged.
Mm.
I mean, the ship's already traveling at a ridiculous velocity. You know? It hasn't quite hit the warp barrier yet, but it's getting quite close. And I just love how everything just misses a fraction off. It's like a hair's breadth, isn't it? And then she's like, Data! Resistance.
And you can see the malevolence in Data's face here when he just spits those words out. Resistance is futile.
And then he hits the plasma coolant. It just blows him away. And the Borg Queen, straight away, she's wanted to run away. And she's got them tubes coming down. She's just genuinely cacking it. The character, I mean. It's almost like the fear is palpable at this stage. But a man from Bradford has got other ideas. Is it Bradford or Le Bar, France? He's from Bradford. So anyway, he grabs hold of these tubes. She grabs hold of his leg. At that point, we finally hit the warp barrier. And we get that stretch and then like the Q effect as it transitions from normal space to subspace. And I love this. It's going that fast. Geordi and Riker are just loving it. It's like they're at Alton Towers for the day or Six Flags. It's like they're just on a roller coaster ride. Zephram Cochrane, he needs a fresh pair of underwear because he's like, he's cacking it. He's genuinely afraid. He's just terrified.
Well, I mean, at this point in history, he's the only person to have gone this fast.
Yeah. True.
And I fully understand how scared he is of what's going on here. I'm sure 50% of the time he was thinking the ship's going to blow up.
Yeah. And I love that you get the TNG warp effect. And like all the stars and everything are just like bending around the ship. The light from stars traveling in a vacuum and it just distorts around the ship. You know? And meanwhile, the Borg Queen, Picard almost looks like he's laughing there. He's like, this bird's got a hold of my leg and it's not Beverly. He just looks like some dirty old man from Bradford in a vest. I'm a mucky old man. Come on, love, you're holding my leg. You know what I mean? And this is great as well. You know, you were talking about that look of malevolence on Data's face when it says resistance is futile.
Mm.
This is another example of that. It's like, you're going nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely. She's trying to pull Picard down. He grabs her instead. Was not expecting that. Fantastic. I was expecting Picard to just kick her down.
Yeah.
You know, with the, I have had enough of
you.
you.
Yeah, but you read my mind there. That's exactly what was going through my head when you were going there. Brilliant.
But to have Data rise from the ashes with all his organic parts missing, that was a great effect.
He's not fully functional.
Gavin
says 555 timer. Yes.
Sorry, he's probably out of warranty, so it's going to take a lot of manual repair work there.
Yeah, he could go and have a word with Johnny Cab. Who's going to fix him? Is he going to have to go to sick bay, or will he get quick fitted by Geordi? Because he always seems to have these incidents, doesn't he, where he gets some kind of damage, and he always seems to get repaired.
Yeah, you'd think at this point Geordi will be able to build a Sung-type android.
Yeah. Why didn't he back up Data, right, instead of into the B4, and he could have rebuilt Data?
Absolutely.
He's got all the specs. It just shows you he's not a very good engineer, is he?
But no, we end up with simple Data instead.
Yeah. Doesn't last 5 minutes.
In Picard, we get an amalgamation of all the Datas.
Yeah. It's kind of, I don't know, that... Yeah, again, plot holes and poorly thought out and executed scripts. But anyway, it's bad news for the Borg Queen because Data gets a full grasp of her. She's going in that coolant, and it does indeed liquefy organic matter on contact.
And
And
you
this
can
whole...
you can hear her voice as her vocal cords disintegrate, becoming more robotic. In this, as they mix in more electronic screams as she starts falling apart. Beautiful.
And yeah, it in one way you're like, yeah, she's got what she deserves, her and the Borg. But you can also sympathize with her because she's been liquefied. You know, the Borg are a cybernetic species. They can't live with one component or the other. It's all or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
But most of her cybernetic, well, she's mostly cybernetic. It's only her outer skin, I would say, her vocal cords and brain that are probably organic, because you see that she turns into a Terminator for some reason.
Yeah. You kind of spoiled the reveal there. Cleaning fluid. So when, all the Borg start fizzling out. Meanwhile, Zephyr and Cochrane backs out of warp and is like, is that Earth? It looks so small. It's about to get a lot bigger, Doc. So anyway, any good person in engineering, every captain knows his ship. Every bolt in his ship. Every weld. According to... Go on. What's his name?
Pass.
Okay, I'll let you off. I can't remember either. And we did Galaxy Quest. Oh, it's not Salazar, is it? Oh, it'll come to me. Oh, anyway, moving swiftly on. Picard sucks all the coolant out of engineering, and we're left with all these empty Borg. And Picard finally gets the closure he needs. He looks down at this once powerful creature that can control an entire hive mind. And he looks down and sees how pathetic she is now she's become a T-800. I mean, basically, I'm surprised James Cameron didn't sue somebody over this. Because it's a bit close, isn't it, if you think about it?
Mm.
And he just picks it up and look at the scorn and anger, and it's like, yeah, I've finally got you. You know, I've had my pound of flesh, or the plasma coolant did. He hasn't noticed Data in the background yet, which is quite funny. But, he just grabs hold of her spinal column, and just look at that. He just breaks it with his bare hands, and then chucks her down on the ground. And he said earlier on, you were on that Borg cube. How are you here? And she says, you think so three-dimensionally. So obviously she comes back. You know, maybe, there's like a production line of Borg Queens. When one goes offline or dies, another one reboots. You know, kind of like the Battlestar Galactica.
It's like we were talking about the data backups. She's probably got a main data center, which will just download into another body as and when it's required.
Back at the Unimatrix 0. And Picard's finally like, I beat you. I've beat my demon. You know, that's it now. He's cured. He's got over the whole Ahab. You know, he's got his white whale. He's had his revenge. And then he's like, what did you think about her offer? He says, I was tempted. For how long? 0.068 seconds. That's an eternity for an android. And Picard's like, yeah, okay. And he says, how do you feel? He says, I probably look better. And he's so human in this, isn't he? A lot more human than he has been.
I was missing the eye, which means he had a crew member's eye in there at one point. Quite disturbing.
So, where's the original plumbing to... I know he's just got his eye closed and it's just makeup there, but... I mean, yet again, that's still good prosthetic work. Because they're 3mm LEDs. You know, you still need to have all the soldering and circuitry to make all that flash and tick. Obviously, it would have had like a power lead running down the back of his neck, and it would have been in his costume somewhere. But still, you've got that transition between the robotic and then his flesh. And they've made that look quite good. And it's like, it looks as though there's about 3 or 4 mil tuck out there because the skin's missing. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That is Michael Westmore. Fantastic work from him. I mean, he set the standard, didn't he?
Absolutely.
But you notice his arm's gone a bit Popeye now. Didn't quite pull it off on his arms, did they?
Well, I mean, I've also got a question. What's the point of having LEDs there?
I suppose that's to, emphasize the fact that he is a robot, an android.
Well, they serve no functional purpose, though. They just blink.
Well, it's probably just like a representation of a power conduit of some kind, or, an information link.
You never see these through his skin.
That's the weird thing. So that skin must be quite thick. Meanwhile, on Earth, it's lights alive. Look up to the skies. That guy there, I always thought, is that Mark Leonard? Kind of looks like him a bit, doesn't it?
A little bit.
A little bit. And there on the right there, she kind of reminds me of somebody. I'm not quite sure who that is. But they all look a bit rough and ready, don't they? They look like, this is what does me about this. You know how they say, mid-21st century clothing. They look too clean when they beam down. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
These guys look like they're at the back end of a nuclear war. But the Enterprise crew just looks way too clean. So this ship lands, and this is just great. The next gen crew, they're kind of like fanboys at this point. They get to see first contact with the Vulcans with their own eyes. And then you get this Vulcan just pops out, and Geordie's like, they're going to want to meet the guy who flew that ship. And they really are from another world. And then, the old ears, and I liked how the music, they got their own little cue. It like went, da, 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 da. And I thought, it really punctuated that fact. Yes, they're aliens. These guys are the key to your future moving forward. Fair enough, it turned out in the grand scheme of things, they were limiting humanity, but they were trying to, ease us into the ecosystem of the galaxy instead of rushing in there, which Archer ultimately ended up doing, didn't he?
Mm.
And then I
love the costumes in this because they look a lot more like the classic Vulcans from episodes such as Amok Time.
Yeah. That was I tell you, Alexander Courage did a fantastic, everything he did with Star Trek was great, I thought.
Isn't it, at this point, he pulls out a shotgun and shoots one of them.
Yeah, in the mirror episode of Enterprise. So anyway, he's like, he tries to do the Vulcan hand signal, and he's like, yeah, whatever. Thanks. He shakes his hand. But then again, thinking back to what Savick did on Genesis with Spock during his first pon farr since being regenerated, isn't that technically foreplay, what he's doing?
Pretty much. Let's hope he doesn't get him pregnant.
Is Anne and Ashandi involved at some point? Yeah, no wonder he's smiling. Thank you, human. Do it again. And he's like, oh, yeah, I like your grip. You got a nice grip there, guy. And then this was quite touching, I thought. And it's weird. It's almost like the bond that Picard has got with Lily. It's intimate, but without being sexual. Did you get me drift?
Yes.
He's like got this almost like Guinan-like bond with Lily. And she says, oh, I'm jealous of what you've got and where you're going. And on the flip side of that, Picard's like, well, I'm envious of you because what you've got ahead of you, what's to come, you're going to set out on the final frontier. I'm just continuing it. You're at the beginning of the journey. I'm sort of like just a bit of the way through it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird. The grass isn't always greener. The Enterprise crew beam away, and Lily's kind of looking like how Zephyr Cochrane was, looking up at the skies towards the future. And Geordie's like, oh, I've managed to recreate the conditions for the chronometric particles, even though they haven't got a main deflector dish. He said he was generating it through the deflector dish. I can't imagine him carrying a spare, can you? Like McKinley Space Dock, yeah. Or
can I just point out that Picard beams back to the ship and then immediately opens a chronometric wormhole back to his present time, doesn't pick up the escape pods.
I don't know. Would they have recalled themselves back to the ship?
I think he left them there. I imagine this colony on an island thinking, oh, well, the Enterprise is gone. We better make our own society, I guess.
Oh, gold, yeah. Yeah, you don't see any exterior shots of the ship. I mean, you only see it from Lily's point of view, do you? So we don't know if they're back or not.
If they had an insert shot just here before this with the escape pods redocking with the Enterprise, that would have been fine. But as far as I'm concerned, he left them all there.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, I can see where you're going with that.
What a bugger.
Oh, Argentum says in the chat, yeah, canonically, touch is a very intimate thing with Vulcans. But hey, it's a cultural exchange. Yeah.
No, it isn't. I had a French exchange student over 1 year. I didn't shag her.
Oh, wrong words. But we're after 9 o'clock.
Soft ones.
Yeah, well, you know what that AI's like and what it's like in YouTube town these days. We made it a year. I don't want to be off air this time tomorrow.
Well, I don't know about AI, Trev. All week it's been putting me in a bikini.
Well, different strokes for different folks. Just to let you know, Rattling the Tin again, channel memberships are back on YouTube and also available at patreon.com/Trev Retro. And if you haven't already known, it's the channel's first anniversary. This time last year, it was me, Z, Swappers, Brian, Gamer. I'm thinking somebody... and Graham. That was it. I always forget you, Graham. I'm sorry. It's just that Graham's been our wingman, hasn't he, for so long, and he's been quite busy of late.
We need to get the old crew together for a members-only stream.
Yeah. No holds barred, for real. In the safety of a members-only sanctuary.
Oh, yes.
10 members, and I'll do it. So there's only... I mean, we've got one on Patreon and you on here. So technically that's 2. If we get a total of 10 across both platforms, then yeah, we'll do that. I'm not begging on you. If you want to, entirely up to yourself. You don't have to. Just saying, it's available. So anyway, I love this bit. Data's got a few more LEDs on the go now, and you get one last, I don't know, a fan service shot of everybody, on the bridge, including Beverly. She's towards the back of Councillor Troy. But it's let's recreate those chronometric particles, and they go back through into the 24th century where our future's waiting for us. So I think this is about, there's a bit of a theme here. This is about getting over your own adversity and the things that have haunted you, and the things like guilt and anger and shame, everything that's held you back in the past. You can change. You can make things work. Thank you, MC. Also, thank you to not Z3PO. That's great of you. And Gavin Blackburn says, now the Federation has time travel. They all do it. It's a cheap prop, isn't it, for when you haven't got much of a story. And I'm surprised, really, with Ronald D. Moore writing this with Brannon Braga. I would have expected more plausible meat on the bone. This, while it's aesthetically pleasing and there's plenty of eye candy and there's lots of great visuals, Frakes did a fantastic job on the direction. But I think Frakes and ILM make up for a lot of the boo-boos committed by Brannon Braga and Ronald D. Moore on the writing side of things. What do you think about that, Z?
Well, this film has got a lot of problems. The writing on it isn't very tight. It's a very good action film. It's a good Trek movie, but it's full of plot holes and contrivances and conveniences. The more I watch it, the more I think, really, could you not have spent some more time on the script?
Yeah, it needed fleshing out a lot more than what it was.
It really did. But I mean, it's quite acceptable for a Star Trek movie, I suppose. But under scrutiny, it doesn't hold up.
I agree. I can't argue with that. You have just nailed it. Atom Gray says time travel. It's a trap. It kind of is. And I like this. Vulcans can drink tequila like moonshine level tequila and not bat an eyelid. They just like go, yeah, okay. And they carry on drinking. And like Zephram's like, he's a bit of a chav, isn't he? Almost. Like he's council housed and violent. And he puts the Shaking Stevens jukebox back on and it's boogie, woogie, woogie. And the Vulcan's like, what? And he's like, no, sit down. We've got a party. Come on, party with Zephram Cochrane. And then we get this lovely shot here. The Vulcans are in the pub with Zephram Cochrane. They've left the ship wide open. Now, what happens? Say, just, for implausibility's sake, what if some drunk guy randomly teeters in there, locks the door, manages to figure out how to fire up the Vulcan ship and takes it and he twocks it for all intents and purposes.
Take it for a couple of warps around the planet.
Yeah. It's like, we can go to Whitby and get fish and chips if Whitby still exists after a nuclear war.
It's like somebody's left the keys to a Jag and the door open.
Yeah.
Somebody there must go, I'm nicking this.
Yeah, in the roughest part of town. Isn't that a monster truck next to it as well? I never noticed that before. There's like a futuristic monster truck. But like everybody's at the boozer because the Vulcans are getting the first round in. Oh, we just landed here. We thought we'd say hello, make first contact with you. Yeah, all right, then get your money out. You're getting the first round in. That's illogical.
Have you got change for the fruit machine?
What is this strange device in the bathroom? It's sleeping bags for worms.
Why are they so expensive?
No, has anybody got 5 of these pound coins you speak of? What's this herbal stimulant to keep me up all night? Like fake Viagra in a pub bog. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. The funniest location I saw one of those machines was in a carvery place. Not what you want to see in a family pub, is it?
You take your girlfriend out for some Sunday dinner and you think you're going to get some.
I remember in 1979 asking my dad when we were both in a pub toilet, Dad, what's that on the wall? And he said it's a bubblegum machine. And I bugged him incessantly for some bubblegum. What a horrible thing to tell a 6-year-old. That it's a bubbling machine. I don't know. Thank you, Dad. Oh, bless me, Dad.
Chewing gum's really tasteless.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a sausage skin, Dad. Oh, that reminds me of a war film I saw once, like a Blitz film, and then the next morning after some bombings, this kid found one and he blew it up and it like went in his face. And I can't remember what film that was. It was obviously either one on BBC or Channel 4. Seems their kind of ilk, doesn't it? But anyway, I love this film. It's got a hell of a lot of faults. I would give it a solid 6.5 out of 10.
I would say that's very fair. If they tightened up some of the writing and perhaps used some of the stuff that they've already established within the Star Trek lore, then it would have got higher. But I would say 6.5 will be my score as well.
Yeah,
pretty decent
like you said,
going.
If it was tighter and it was fleshed out in the correct way and it adhered to canon slightly better than what it does, instead of it trying to tie itself into Enterprise and Voyager at the same time, it was trying to be too many things within the franchise promoting other areas of the franchise, I thought.
Very much so. I mean, it is the best TNG movie, but the bar isn't particularly high.
Yeah. I mean, TOS, that's protected. Apart from 5. A lot of people have contacted me saying that we should have done Star Trek 5 in Trek December, but there was only 5.
Do it on Just Bad Movies.
Shh. That's top secret. I'm glad you kind of dropped the hint, but No, you've kind of given the game away. Shh.
Have
Everybody,
I? Oh my God.
you didn't hear that. Manuel Grill says 7 out of 10. Gavin Blackburn, 6.32. You awkward bugger. Punchy says 7 out of 10. Not Z3PO says 5.5. MC says 7.5 out of 10. That's overly generous, I think.
Very generous.
Yeah. And that's the state of play. Thank you, everybody in the chat. I would also like to thank Paul Dickinson for the $5. Thank you very much. It's our anniversary special, so thank you for that. Gavin Blackburn chucked us a pot knacker, and our very own Z3PO chucked us a $5 as well. So everyone, the pot knackers are on me. Z, thank you ever so much for coming on. I really do appreciate it, matey.
You're very welcome. It's quite an enjoyable film to rewatch. So, you know, despite all of its flaws, I still like it.
I wonder. I've not told anybody what we're doing next, but you've had a bit of a sneak peek. Would you be up for some Arnie shenanigans next Tuesday?
Perhaps.
We'll have to wait and see.
I'll have to see what I'm up to. But,
you might be washing your hair that night. You never know.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody.
Android.
Yeah. Well, you know, you might be wearing a wig for a customer. Who knows? Whoever your master is this evening, you never know. They might have a bit of a kinky fetish for gold and ginger hair. It's a good match, I think. You never know. You might look like a Lucozade bottle. Who knows? Thank you, everybody. I really have had a fantastic night tonight. I can't thank you enough, Z, for coming on tonight. And everybody in the chat, thank you for celebrating 1 year of the Trev Retro channel. There'll be fun on Friday night, no doubt. Oh, I'll tell you something. Friday nights upset a lot of people, but, you know, we do the sensible stream on a Tuesday. We get close to the bone on a Friday. I just thought I'd let people know. But thank you for joining. Next week, you're going to love this. Arnie shenanigans on the way. Next week on Just Great Movies, Arnold Schwarzenegger gets mad with the bloke from Mad Max who kidnaps his daughter. Then he goes on a bender. Don't worry, it'll buff out. See you from 9 p.m. next Tuesday.